Поехали. Так, побежали. Тут мы со всеми поговорили. Пойдем с тем пацаном поговорить. Понятно. Вкатили или что? Нет, все понятно. Или нет. Нет, сегодня только Disco Elysium, где-то часов до 4. Завтра день рождения, завтра я буду заниматься идиотизмом. Ты просто сказал, если ты хочешь... Смотри, если ты можешь... Если ты хочешь... Скайрим нет, Скайрим никто не планировал. Эндерал недозаказан, поэтому ждем. То же самое с Morrowind. Экспедиции, да, будут. Elysium, да, будет. Spellforce. Ты же Spellforce можешь смотреть только вечером, правильно я понимаю? Властелин колец мы ждем 8.5. Завтра я буду заниматься наркоманией. Я буду играть по сетке в Company of Heroes, в Age of Empires 4, смотреть всякую херню, в общем, да. Morrowind недозаказан еще, Эндерал недозаказан, поэтому они пока на паузе. Экспедиции потихонечку буду, но днем, утром днем. Соответственно, я Elysium и Spellforce могу только по вечерам. Властелин колец Тапс. Что такое Тапс? Не знаю, что такое Тапс. Соответственно, смотри, во вторник будет завтра я буду дурковать. Завтра из заказов только Феникс там мультик заказал. Ну вот. Да. Вечером. А завтра вечером можно будет еще посмотреть Iron Sky 2, если хочешь, кстати. Во вторник экспедиция, в среду и еще экспедиция плюс... что по финалу? Финал сегодня вечером. Я его показывать не буду, я поставлю там плеер 3D клана, вы его увидите у меня на канале, но через 3D клан. Вот. Слово забыл умное. Что ты мне задаешь только вопрос? Что такое тапс? Ты так и не ответил. Так, в среду. Знаю о нем, но не видел. В смысле, то есть я знаю, что он существует. В среду тогда вечером Elysium, в четверг т. Я просто не знаю, что у меня на выходные, если честно. Короче, Spellforce, наверное, на этой неделе не будет. Потому что в пятницу лекция. Или Spellforce будет на один из выходных вечером. Или на один из выходных днем. Я просто пока не знаю, что у меня с выходными. Я буду знать только сегодня, наверное, вечером. И завтра утром опубликую полное расписание. Фиксим со Spellforce. Да нет, не фиксим, просто на этой неделе завтра дуркуем. Экспедиция, Elysium, лекция в пятницу. И может быть что-то еще. Ну и там ГЧ-театр. С выходными пока не знаю что. Может быть в выходные будет Elysium. Так, что я хотел? Точно. Боже мой, боты теперь подписываться стали. Нет, я пристал к бабе на яхте и сказал, дай денег. Она такая, деньги. Недавно. Что кто недавно. Ну, банки все равно собираем. А, боты. Наверное.
This door is made of metal and appears to be reinforced. Someone here really values their security. Number 28. This is where the cleaning lady said the smoker on the balcony lives.
Let's see if anyone's home. Knock on the door.
No one answers.
Looks like the young man we are looking for isn't home. I think our best chance to catch him is in the evening. We
Так
should
вечер
return
уже.
tomorrow after we have finished with our day's work. How about 9 p.m.? Sound good?
Хорошо, завтра в 21:00.
Tomorrow, 9 p.m., right here. Apartment number 28. Good, let's go.
Damn. Turns out it's quite tricky finding someone in a big apartment building. Don't worry. You'll get him.
Труп будет же.
Remember, tomorrow. He's probably gone for today.
Ладно, пройдемся и пойдем в бар, нам надо оплатить там все. Иногда я не до конца понимаю, как тут что, куда зайти. Туда я подняться не могу. А, я понял, где это. Окей, там надо прыгнуть. Пистолет нашли. Не. У меня еще завтрашний день, и завтра буду искать пистолет. Сейчас уже домой пора. Все, спатеньки, спатеньки. Вот так. Я нашел 100 рублей. Я могу спать в гостинице. Реалов, простите. По-моему, на сегодня хватит,
Yes.
чувак. Тут что у нас? Кстати, вот сюда еще не залезал. Ну ладно. Как не просто быть детективом. Ну, можем пойти посмотреть на забастовку, в принципе. Тоже тема.
An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center. An off-key melody starts playing after you ring the doorbell. Then a woman picks up the receiver.
Kuno, please stop calling here. Grown-ups don't have time for your stupid games.
She thinks you're the gremlin child. What would he say to this?
Плезанцы, это я. Откройте, пожалуйста, мне нужно войти.
No, I'm sorry, officer. I thought you, but the doorbell is broken, and the bookstore shouldn't even be on the list anymore. So I can't help you. Please don't call here again.
A single beep indicates that the line has gone dead.
Ладно, хрен с ним пока. Так. Давайте зайдем, отдадим деньги, раз такое дело. Мы узнали, что пистолет мы заложили, и он был продан. Он был продан тетеньке за 15 реалов. У меня, конечно, 15 реалов нет. Ну, что делать? О, сколько народу. Так, во-первых, она...
Can I help you? Yes. Have you got it? Well,
Прости за неудобство.
great. Thank you, officer. That's all I wanted. payment for services rendered. If you continue to stay here, I just ask that you please pay your nightly bill in advance starting tomorrow.
He's not sorry about his behavior for your sake. Now that you have money, he really wants to make sure you're not angry with him.
Ха!
I'll unlock the electronic lock to your room. All the doors lock automatically at 9 p.m. Please pay for each night in advance starting tomorrow. 20
Ты
rand
издеваешься.
per night.
I'll take a room here too.
Of course. Always happy to have officers from the RCM as guests. Anything else I can... Another thing. Great. I love those.
Да-да. Тайная стальная синяя дверь.
Oh, yes, that door, sure. There's nothing mysterious about it. It's just a door.
А что за ней? Ты хотел? Хотел по-другому.
No, I don't have a key. I don't know how to get there. And I don't care either. It's not like I've been wondering about it for 10 years. It's just a frick warehouse, probably. Or some boring storage space with a bunch of old junk and dust. Junk and dust.
He's attempting to maintain an air of indifference. It's absolutely not convincing.
Тебе интересно же.
Fine, okay, a little.
Little.
But my job doesn't leave me time for wondering about one locked door in one of the cafeterias I manage.
О,
So I haven't opened it. I have cleaned the whole place 100 times over, though. After the animals. I
ладно.
haven't found a key, so good luck with that. Yes?
Так. Давайте с кем поговорим, что ли. Вот там мужик какой-то есть. Чего такое? Чё тебе надо?
We should think about calling it today, maybe. The nights are still miserably cold this time of year.
Да,
We can pick
хорошо.
up where we left off tomorrow morning.
Так. Да блин. Иногда бесит, насколько он медленно. Стоп.
That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and sticky it is. How long have you been up already?
Не, бухать я не буду, не
Oh,
сейчас.
excuse me. Do you have something better to do than lust for sweet syrupy rum and lemonade? With a twist of lemon? Maybe lime? Maybe
Нет.
who cares?
Maybe
Just
who cares? Не хочу. Окей. Так. Пойдем в номера позвоним. Ну, я думаю, что идти к складу смысла не имеет. Пойдем потыкаем в домофон. В домофон потыкаем.
Труд надо не уважать, а оплачивать.
An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists
Да-да-да,
all
да-да-да,
you
второе.
ring the doorbell, but no one answers. What an ominous name for a hair salon.
Ладно,
Doesn't
ладно.
bode well for anyone's hair.
Третье.
All you hear is static, but no one answers the call.
Четвертое.
You ring the doorbell, but nothing happens. You
Пятое.
wait for a minute or two, but all you get from the call box is silence. No, it looks
Шестое.
like someone has melted half the plastic off with a lighter.
Hmm.
The doorbell doesn't work anymore.
Слипстрим.
You hear static from the intercom speaker. It sounds as if someone has picked up the receiver, but isn't saying anything.
Алло?
Yes, hello. This is Tracy Penniel Electric. Have you come to place an order?
She sounds almost antique, as if her voice was being played off an old wax cylinder. A receiver must not be working properly.
Здравствуйте, вы не могли бы впустить меня в здание?
My God.
The lieutenant exchanges a look with you.
It's you. My God. I didn't think I would hear your voice.
Что?
Who cares that you don't remember her? Just go along with it. No, something's wrong here. Are you sure she's talking to you? You?
Кто вы и где вы?
Michelle, just please. Why did you even call? I don't understand.
Слушайте, расскажите, в чем дело, что такого я сделал?
Ever since I came to live here, it's different. As if my mind's been wiped clean.
A spot of static overrides her words. When she speaks again, it sounds like she's submerged.
It's so nice. It's so nice to be able to finally forget.
Забыть о чем?
She sounds like she's about to cry.
Боже, прошу вас, не плачьте.
She doesn't answer.
Так, вы хорошо сказали. Эй, вы там?
Silence. The only thing you can hear now is static and waves washing ashore on the bay.
Так, не хотите со мной разговаривать? Никто не хочет со мной разговаривать.
Another seagull passes by.
It must have been some kind of faulty wiring. We should maybe stop playing with.
You press the number sign on the keypad that terminates
Сила
the
воли.
call. 12 name cards on the call box read,
Какого хрена? Давай.
whatever she says, it can't hurt you. You're a different person now. Stronger, healthier, and... Alright, maybe not healthier, but it's a bonus that you've drunk so hard you can't remember any of your past relationships. Oblivion's the ace in your corner.
Окей.
There's a light buzz as you press the doorbell, waiting for her to answer the call. It's cold outside, and you can hear the wind blowing into the speaker.
Yes, hello. This is Tricentennial Electric. Have you come to place an order?
Да, когда мы с вами в прошлый раз разговаривали, произошло недоразумение. Вы меня с кем-то спутали.
My God.
Here come the bad vibes again. Relax. Distance yourself from it.
Так, слышь ты. Объясниться.
It's you. My God. I didn't think I would hear your voice again.
Wait, is she...
Подождите, почему вы повторяете эти слова?
Michelle, just please. Why did you even call?
Is this
Прикольно.
some kind of joke?
По-вашему, вводить в заблуждение офицера полиции — это
The
смешно.
voice from the intercom doesn't answer, but you can hear her breathing. Wind blows into your microphone again, crackling and echoing in the box.
Теперь мы можем поговорить?
Ever since I came to work, as if my mind's been wiped clean.
Помолчать?
It's so nice.
And then it hits you.
Да, запись.
She tries again not to cry, and still doesn't succeed completely. Her quiet sobs sound old and distant.
Какая-то
as
очень
if
древняя
her
запись.
voice is being played off a wax cylinder. Real or not, your mirror neurons react. It feels painful to be listening to this.
Почему я все равно чувствую себя виноватым?
Her sound melts into the static from a long-distance phone call. From time to time, you can hear people talking in the distance, but can't make out any words. This is where you hung up the call the last time, but the recording is still going.
Слушать дальше.
A phone rings in the office with an old-fashioned chime, and someone walks by in a pair of heels. The static is like a warm blanket
Okay.
wrapped around the sounds.
Вы меня слышите?
No one replies, but the static grows stronger like rainfall. Then a female voice speaks out, completely different from the one before. Glorious and total somehow. Her words are too cold to comprehend. She smells of sodium lights and rain streaks on car windows. Eyes like pilot lights watch your shape in dark hallways, guttering.
So, it was a recording trapped in the circuitry from some ancient tenant. This sometimes happens. Shall we conclude here? We have other mysteries to solve.
Зацикленная в схемах запись?
I don't have time to explain it to you right now. Maybe sometime later.
Только что было что-то
Don't
странное.
take this the wrong way, but during our short stint working together, something weird is almost always happening to you.
That is true.
Окей, седьмое.
Silence. No one's
Восьмое.
silence. Nothing
Девятое.
happens after you ring the doorbell. Silence. No, this button looks new, but someone has removed the name card. Nothing happens when you try to ring it.
То есть мне еще 8 рублей надо набрать на
Oh,
аренду.
this button looks new. It's probably not connected yet.
Ладно, пойдем спать. Забавно, какая-то запись. То есть до 21:00 надо набрать 8 рублей еще. Интересно, что я здесь почему-то открыть не могу. Да дам-ка я ей.
Hello again, sweetie.
Провожу
I
значок.
hope you're able to pawn that old trinket. Oh, thank you, dear. I can.
Even the lieutenant seems happy with this turn of events.
Now, what else, sweetie?
Да все уже. Ну чего? Тетенька хорошая, что обижать. Пойдем спать. Сегодня же воскресенье, да? Да.
The door is closed. Still no answer. This door, still the lieutenant gives you. He doesn't like where this is going. This is the door to the room you redecorated.
Just a moment. We should talk about our progress on the investigation. Let's go
Ладно.
out to the balcony.
The air outside is brisk. The lieutenant is silent for a moment. He listens to the traffic hum. Then,
Короче, на улице холодно, и лейтенант какое-то время молчит, а потом...
Now then, we should talk about the investigation. But I also feel you're a bit hazy on the RCM. Our role here, our rights, our jurisdiction, basically.
Не знал, что ты куришь, Ким.
I have a cigarette every night when I go over my notes. It's something of a ritual.
oh man, he looks so devastatingly cool with that cigarette.
Нет, сигареткой пока не надо. А, хотя давай.
I apologize, but I only brought one with me. I have exactly one cigarette every night while going over my notes.
Как ты стал таким крутым?
You mean this? This isn't cool. It's an unnecessary trial of will and unhealthy.
Keeping the habit within the parameters he's given himself takes a lot of focus. It would be easier to simply quit.
Да, третье.
Yes. It's been a long and eventful day.
Так, полномочия.
They're quite limited, actually. The power officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia exercise most frequently is imposing fines of up to 1,000 real for offenses, in accordance with an interdepartmental schedule.
А почему не больше?
The RCM's primary role is to ensure safety. We are not really supposed to play any part in the economic structure of Revachol.
Хм. Не располагает ли это к превышению полномочий?
Yes, although indirectly, as citizens can always request records from their local station.
А,
Officers of the RCM have been known to take bribes of less than the prescribed fine amount.
а,
It trust in the RCM.
третье.
We can arrest people, of course, but rather than bringing someone in directly, it's preferable to serve a station call slip. It prevents confusion and overcrowding.
А где гарантия, что он припрется в участок?
You can't. Those who don't show up become fugitives, though, and have fewer legal rights when they are eventually caught. It's about power projection. Thus far, they seem to mostly show up.
А если кто-нибудь окажет сопротивление?
As you may have gathered from the fact that we are expected to carry a record of our kills, like the one in your watermarks, we are permitted to use whatever force is necessary, and strongly admonished not to abuse that power.
Погоди-ка, и то есть, если я убью кого-то при выполнении задания,
You have to supply compelling evidence for why it was necessary to use lethal force. In these cases, your partner is usually your witness. Not a good position to be in, by the way. Internal Affairs handles these cases thoroughly. by cross-examining you for inconsistencies. It is hard to cover for anyone, which is for the best.
А что происходит с людьми, которых мы признаем виновными?
We don't convict. We arrest and send them to coalition government courts in Couron and La Delta. The prosecution works off our testimonies and records, which is why it's paramount to keep them.
Кто составляет все эти правила?
The coalition government and the moral intern more broadly. The RCM was formed by the coalition government to restore order in the international zone after the revolution. So we did. Now we attempt to maintain that order. No more, no less.
Вообще, в каком-то смысле это забавно. То есть это порядок, который образуется, если интервенция побеждает. Ну, фактически получается, что местная территория вообще полностью контролируется другими государствами, которые ее жрут. То есть интервенция победила в данной вселенной, полностью победила. Ну и все. Здравствуйте.
Or perhaps it is better to say we were allowed to form. It's a point
Да.
of contention whether the citizens of Revachol or the coalition government founded the RCM.
Мы будем считать, что это было коалиционное правительство.
It's probably more honest, yes. Either way, the moral intern leases us the right to keep the peace in this city, and they will take it away if we misuse it.
Or if they think you do.
Что такое moral...
The Moralist International are the world's largest political organization. You know who they are. They have been running this place after the revolution failed.
А если бы я не знал?
They're a union of center-left and center-right parties across the Real Belt. Our coalition government is just one of its many projects. They also run the ICP, EPIS, most intergovernmental organizations in the world.
Класс! Победа неолибералов. А что они верят?
What do they believe in? They are Dolorians. They believe they continue the humanist project set forth by Her Innocence Dolores Day 4 centuries ago. Others say they are just technocrats.
Технократия не политическая организация. Ну, это не политическое убеждение. Ну, не важно.
Those others say they continue the humanist project set forth by Dolores Day.
У них есть символ.
Interesting question. It's a blue forget-me-not. Their motto is love, compassion, self-discipline. I think you can gauge what they want you to think of them from that.
Хе.
Something kind and usual. Something almost self-explanatory. Something ominous.
Кем была Долорес Дэй?
A historic figure? The author of the modern age? You will have to look elsewhere for opinions. The subject of humanism is too abstract for me.
Окей. Что ты о них думаешь?
The moral intern are a fact. I try not to have opinions on facts until they change. And it doesn't look like that's about to happen.
It is more than that. There's some kind of affection in him.
Тебе нравится Moral Intern?
Yes, I did, when I was younger. In my 20s, I considered myself a moralist. A blue forget-me-not, a piece of the sky. They're not all that bad.
That's another leitmotif associated with moralism.
Да, они не такие плохие.
But the years have changed that. I don't know what I believe in now. No, I believe in the RCM. That's enough for me.
Окей. У меня мнение есть.
Do you?
Так. Мы пешки крупнейшей в мире буржуазной организации на защите буржуазных прав.
No. We are stooges of the world's biggest bourgeois organization, protecting the people of Revachol. That's the hand we were dealt. Without the MI, we would be common vigilantes.
Может, нам пора записать свой закон?
Spoken like a revolutionary, not a cop. But hypothetical aside, in Martinez we already are vigilantes. At least the union thinks so. I expect our job here to prove quite challenging.
Молчать.
The dying lights of the city shimmer below. Slowly, like luminous clouds, they pass on his lenses. The lieutenant looks at his slim cigarette, contemplating the next drag. This soldier is the highlight of the day for me, he thinks. This little stick right here.
They really don't like us here. And the mouth on that kid, you know. It's different in them, in Jamrock, in the GRIH.
Что с ними не так?
It's our fault for leaving this place to the dogs, to the union, to the company, not daring to come here more often. This place has fallen between the cracks, the jurisdictions of our two precincts.
А что в Джемброке и РГП?
We run this city. West of the river is RCM land. It's incredibly hard. Human beings are. But we are in control, and it's worth it. The organization works, our systems work. If they didn't, the city would disintegrate.
Надеюсь, наше расследование поможет улучшить ситуацию, или, по крайней мере, принесет хоть какие-то хорошие результаты.
Me too. But I wouldn't count on any drastic changes in our lifetimes.
Факт. Ну что, как по-твоему, сегодня прошло?
Well, we inspected the victim's body, so that's good. It was not easily approachable in that state, but we did it. I would say our initial inspection was very thorough, and we have solid leads to follow up. The body is still hanging from that tree, which is unfortunate. And there's still much to do at the crime scene.
He is not particularly satisfied with your progress, but he doesn't want you to feel completely discouraged. Probably out of fear that you'll just give up and keep drinking.
Не волнуйся, Ким, завтра я буду в куда лучшей форме.
I look forward to that. As for the interviews, we weren't able to find the union leader, Everard Clare, much less interview him. So that's on the to-do list for tomorrow. We tried to interview the White Palms rep, but she asked us to do something for her first. Fine, so be it. I have a feeling Joyce knows how dangerous the situation really is. We have to get her to talk to us.
If Kim is emphasizing something this much, it really must be important.
Above all, though, today was exhausting. What's with all the running? You run a lot. Is that a standard Precinct 41 practice?
Знаешь, не люблю попусту тратить время, соображаю быстро, так что всему остальному организму приходится приспосабливаться.
It's impressive, especially for a man your age. And in those heels.
Хе-хе.
Nice shoes, by the way. I like the green. Goes with the orange.
Так, спасибо.
Yeah, it's getting very cold now. Let's go.
Но на самом деле мы подняли уровни 7 или 8. Так что норм. Сейчас только. Очки навыков. И скоро еще один уровень будет. Так, логику. Я не знаю, я что-то мне вот риторику раскачал, логику хочу. Хотя можно психику, конечно, мне лень. Давайте логику докачаем, и потом пойдем по линии психики какой-нибудь. Чё? HR? А, Human Revolution и... Как вторая называется? Последнюю Deus Ex я не играл. Я играл в первую Deus Ex. Пару раз подходили на стрим. По-моему, последний раз не допрошли. Меня взломало что-то. Вот. И мы играли в... Да, мы играли в Human... Нет, подожди, мы играли не в Human Revolution. Или мы играли в Human Revolution? Какая последняя? Короче, мы играли в ту, которая 11 или 12 года, я не помню. Но она клевая, в принципе. Простенькая, правда, но клевая. В последнюю, которая последняя, точно не играли. Так. Так, там я не хочу. Там, хрен пойми. Ой. Спать.
The bed is cold and not particularly inviting, but it's yours. The sheets look awful.
Могу сказать, что манка одевать страшно, пожалуйте. Я знаю, что она более загруженная, но я говорю, я когда-нибудь, я надеюсь, я поменяю видеокарту, я надеюсь, что, не знаю, хотя бы к лету поменяю, я не знаю.
The option to go to sleep becomes available every night after 9 p.m.
Заползти. Хватит на сегодня,
The
11 вечера.
sheets feel at once coarse and clammy against your skin. The bed sags beneath your weight as you stretch out and finally close your eyes.
Это какого года? Да ну тебя. Спасибо, Алканоид. Спасибо за вашу позитивную поддержку. Я прям ощущаю, как я никогда ничего не сделаю. Спасибо.
And then sleep doesn't come. And then sleep doesn't come.
Хочу поспать. Привет, Сатан. Да какой-либо сложный. Не, я не буду этого делать. Ну, то есть, я понимаю, что это... Я понял, что это механически возможно. В смысле, механика тут так работает. Но я что-то почесал в затылке и решил, что... А черт с ним. Раз игра бросает кубики, будем страдать. Так веселее. Страдания. Не надо в игрульки играть, а видео делать. Шо? Спасибо, Паскаль. Еще одна позитивная мысль сегодня. Спасибо. Большое спасибо. Спасибо. Слушайте, я что думаю? Завтра же днюха. Я думаю просто во что играть конкретно, потому что... Ну, у меня установлен Company of Heroes 2 и Age of Empires 4. Я хотел сеточку погонять именно. Age of Empires 4 и Company of Heroes 2. Вот, можно... А, еще Soulstorm есть. Можно Soulstorm погонять. Может, у вас пожелания какие-то есть? Я хочу спать.
Obviously, you're in bed with your eyes closed, but it's
Ну,
not
да.
happening.
Поэтому, собственно, Сота, я думаю, что в этом есть смысл. Так. Слышь тебя, почему?
Maybe it's the bed's fault.
А подушку
Its
проверить.
synthetic filling has separated into hard lumps. The pillowcase smells oddly.
Проверить
It
одеяло.
barely covers your toes, stretching over your soft belly. This is your body here, intimate and warm, breathing. Under your thrumming eyelids, you see a dizzying array of colors. You won't get off this carousel quite
No,
so easily.
На другой бок.
It's a little better. Colors, scenes, and half-formed phrases still litter your mind. Part of you is still trying to solve the case, isn't it?
Кто его убил? Кто?
Something to do with... What was it that the lieutenant said?
Union.
And it's gone again. Your thoughts lost between the slowing brain waves. Your
Спать.
breathing steadies. A great silence washes over you until your eyelids twitch in your sleep and images start forming.
Наконец. О боже. What the fuck. Какая прелесть. Пойдем поговорим с трупом, да? О нет, нам снятся сны. Забавно. Ой, это я.
Do you remember the scent of your childhood?
Я родился в больнице, куда обычно привозят умирать.
You're not kidding anyone, Harry. You don't remember shit. Tell me, do you remember your wife's hand on your face?
Меня бросили.
That's right, funky baby. And you just stood there. One hand on the bottle and the other on your dick. Watching her go. Let it all be dragged away from you. Tell me, where are your friends? Human beings have friends, Harry boy. Where the hell are yours?
Ну, я могу все вернуть.
No, it's gone. 3 times gone and never coming back. You failed. You failed me. You failed Elysium.
Что такое Элизиум?
Everything. The pale and the useless. On the surface.
Да ну вас
the
настроение
outer
мне испортили.
magnetosphere. Burning, furious truth. 8,000 years of written history.
Плохие зрители.
You really dropped the ball, Harry. 4.6 billion people. And you failed every single one of them.
Да ладно.
You really fucked up.
Да, нормально все будет.
You're not coming back from shit. Thrashing around in that high conductivity state of yours. Bumping into things and acting like a clown. Who are you kidding?
Я пытаюсь расследовать преступление.
You're trying to what? I can't hear you. This is just a word dream now. Jumbled up garbage. The pictures are gone.
Да.
The bed rises to meet you. A
Пойду
thin,
умру.
sleep-like state. More glass than velvet. Grinding in your head.
Ладно, у меня на завтра еще есть бутылка крестоносного вина. Аве Мария.
So something is wrong.
Я опять
Sleep
выпил
shouldn't be
полстакана.
this bad, this dry, this unnourishing. There's something wrong with your thoughts. Some kind of new type of hangover.
Есть еще один вид хэнгова.
Oh yes, party boy, and it's worse than the one before. Just think of the shit you saw. Here it comes too. So soon already. A silent alarm goes off in your head like clockwork. Barely let you sleep at all. Time to get those clothes on, Harry. Time to go to work in the shit factory.
Нани де фак. Нани де фак, что это было? Доброе утро.
Good going, buddy.
Да, снился прекраснейший сон, воодушевляющий, придающий сил.
Really? Because you feel even worse this morning than you did last night.
Что за хрень?
You mean, why are you so tired? Too tired and down to even think? It is worrying, isn't it? You can't be a detective like this. Detectives need to be able to think.
Так, заткнись. Вообще-то я огурчик.
That's not really true. Your heart has finally pumped all the speed out of your system, Buster. Time to get some more. Don't do that. Stay strong. The hangover will wear off. You don't need to keep doing this to yourself.
Нет, иди в жопу. Не пойду искать
Are
беды.
you sure? Ready to live as this pathetic shell of yourself for days? Basically, a week. Let's be honest, 2 weeks. Maybe 3. You won't make it. Half the town will be dead by then. You will be fired.
Брехня!
Suit yourself, slow, sad shell man. See how you do without your spark.
Наркотики не спарк. Наркотики плохо, понятненько. Ай, пойдем.
The door is closed. This door still.
Ну и пожалуйста. Пойдем. Мужик ходит в пальто, шапочке, монтировке и с пакетиком. Точно полицейский. Ой. Ну, кстати, я потихонечку вроде адаптировался после ковида. По-моему, я почти полностью пришел в себя, поэтому я думаю, что в следующей неделе я по утрам буду выделять время на то, чтобы заниматься... Добить литературку. Вот, и сделать новую форму рыбы. Думаю, это будет спокойно сделано все.
Morning.
Доброе утро.
Looks like we can get to work at once. The union muscle turned up. They look rowdy. We should talk to them.
Недружелюбно?
I mean ungovernable. Martinez isn't exactly enthusiastic about the RCM being here.
И надо быть
He
вот
prefers to be
потихонечку.
policed by the union.
Тогда на следующей неделе, ну не завтра. Завтра этим делать не буду, завтра я буду дурить. Значит, по утрам, это час-полтора надо будет выделять на работу. И если на следующей неделе я закончу, то дальше буду ждать ваших комментариев. И тогда через неделю начну потихонечку монтировать видео. Да, пожалуй, так. Так. Главное не сбиться. Сраный ковид, столько времени у
Men
него
who drink
отожрал.
beer for breakfast. There's talk of an armed wing of the union called the Hardy Boys.
Кстати,
who are
вчера вроде был
responsible for
рекорд по
safe
заражаемости.
passage,
16
I
тысяч
think.
человек в Москве заразилось. Половина от всего, что в России. Так, ты люди, о которых нам вчера говорил Гард? Нет, так я ж не пью, в общем. Я же говорю, что это я... Как бы у меня стоит бутылка вина крестоносного, крепленного. Вот, это, конечно, классно, но я просто себя знаю, я выпью полстакана и такой, ну и фиг с ним. Вечером причем еще. Вообще пофиг. Так, те люди, о которых нам вчера говорил, говорят, что вы умеете воодушевлять, прям как Гарри, блин. Точнее,
It's them by the looks of it.
призраки
Loud
Гарри.
and nasty, just like the manager said.
Чумной город. Ну, я думаю, что рано или поздно это произойдет, потому что... Я думаю, даже рано, чем поздно. Потому что весной 2020 года там заражение было 3000 человек в день. И все перекрыли к чертовой матери. Сейчас 16 тысяч. По-хорошему надо закрываться, конечно.
One loose thread less to worry about, and one big problem to replace it.
Можно запросить подкрепление?
That would just escalate tensions. No, in fact, even the death of two. One more
Погнали.
thing before we do. We
Чего?
don't have to talk to them immediately. We can walk right past them, continue with our business.
Good. A power move. Purposefully concentrate on something else first.
Пишут, что сегодня уже 17,5 тысяч.
But aren't you
KF.
curious to know what they have to say about the murder?
They're in no hurry to leave. They think they own the place. Anyway, I leave that choice to you. Whatever you decide is fine by me.
Левелапушка. Так, добиваем логику.
Can I help you?
Just a moment. And there's no public phones nearby?
The closest phone booth is down the coast.
It's fine, I understand.
The lady is distressed. Perhaps something more upbeat might cheer her up.
Добрый день, все в порядке?
Please don't trouble yourself about me, sweetie. I was just hoping to make a call, but the Whirling's phone line isn't working. The union office probably has a phone, but I can't really get there. Or to the phone booth down the coast. And Gary's phone is dead too.
А что с телефоном в танце?
The manager was vague about it.
Why would he be vague about phone problems? This is something to look into later. Ask God, maybe.
А зачем вам телефон?
To let the young woman who's house sitting for us know that we may be delayed. Morel, my husband, and our friend Gary were supposed to get back by Monday night, but they're still missing, and I haven't heard from them. I was also hoping she'd heard from Morel.
A little missing persons puzzle might just be the thing to take your mind off the hangover.
Допустим, ваш муж раньше пропадал?
That's just it. This isn't like him at all. He always plans his expeditions so carefully. You have more important things to worry about.
Что за экспедиция?
Just some field work, sweetie. Morel is a highly trained scientist. He and his assistant Gary are studying an extremely rare species of insect. But they should have returned by now. They were just going down the coast across the water lock to set a few traps. He said they'd be back on Monday. What could be keeping them?
Перекрытие, например.
The waterlock. That was
Да.
broken. Could
Шлюз,
this be it?
шлюз, по которому можно перейти на другой берег, сломан. Они, наверное, просто застряли с той стороны.
Oh my. What happened to the waterlock?
Да, техническая поломка, скорее всего.
Well, whatever the cause, I'm thankful. To both of you. You've spared me another sleepless night.
You're welcome, ma'am.
I hate to ask, but if your investigation takes you to the other side of the coast, please do keep an eye out for my husband.
This will surely lead to a cryptozoological mystery with that extremely rare insect. Yes, some left-field scientific research is exactly what you need right now. Funk up that vanilla murder investigation.
And if you see him, let him know Lena is waiting for him here at the Whirling. He gets so tangled up in his work that he may not know the waterlock's been repaired. And it's cold out there.
Да принять,
Oh,
принять.
you're such a dear. Thank you, sweetie.
Так, ваш муж ученый?
Oh, yes. A zoologist. A cryptozoologist, to be more precise.
Что такое криптозоология?
It's a pseudoscience that attempts to legitimize research into mythological beasts and urban legends.
Эй!
That's one opinion, yes. And people are entitled to their opinions.
My apologies, ma'am. I did not mean to undermine your hobby.
It's not a hobby, dear. It's a subfield of zoology. One specializing in
Ким
animal
Лапочка взял,
species
нахамил
that are so
бабушке.
exceedingly rare that many assume them to be extinct or even fictitious. Searching for such species called cryptids is difficult and often thankless. And frankly, many scientists are too lazy to do it.
Lazy. Scientist
Universities
lazy.
these days are rarely interested in supporting real research.
She's completely internalized her husband's struggles. They are her own.
Проверка. Пятерка. И
There's
да.
really no point in manipulating anyone. She'd be only too pleased to tell you about her work. Go on and ask.
Да, расскажите про парочку.
Oh, I'd be delighted. Truth be told, I could really use the company too.
One cryptid, not a couple. One. This won't turn into some kind of cryptid extravaganza.
Ладно, ладно, ладно. Один маленький криптидик.
He nods and assumes a waiting posture. Ooh, tough choice there.
Так. На ручке, что вы мне дали, тоже криптид?
Yes, it's the kind green ape. Half war story, half undiscovered species in the genus Homo.
Понятно. Рептилоиды.
Yes, it was reported by soldiers in South Safra during the war. The kind green ape would visit bunkers during the night, healing wounded soldiers with its saliva.
Слюной.
Yes, it has amazing healing qualities. Some soldiers reported growing back limbs, regaining their sight.
Что? Так. Чё? Неисследованный подвид человека?
Indeed, there is. It's our closest relative among the cryptids. Same taxonomic family, different genus. Which is to say, the kind green ape is a species with which we share a common ancestor and that evolved parallel to our own. Just like your partners.
Ким ты не человек.
Ma'am, you are confusing him.
Please don't misunderstand me, either of you. Human, as it is used in everyday speech, is hardly a taxonomic category. For all intents and purposes, you can be thought of as human. Though Sahelites do have some distinguishing characteristics. Different advantages, if you will.
Yes, advantages such as the flakier texture of zeolite earwax, or so I've heard. Nothing inspires pride in one species quite like speculative evolutionary biology. Perhaps we've had enough of that for today.
Какой криптид самый большой?
Hey, you promised you'd only ask about one cryptid.
Ладно, ладно.
I'm glad you see it that way. Did we have anything more to do here?
Так, что за человек Морел?
Oh dear. I'm not sure where to begin.
Ну, как ваш муж выглядит?
Well, his expression is slightly grumpy, but his eyes are always bright and curious, like a small boy's. And his palms are quite coarse from all the field work, but he's quite gentle.
О, боже, ну и
You
описание.
can't go around Revachol feeling grown men's hands. If you want to find her husband, you'll need more concrete information. It's always a challenge to describe the person you know best in the world.
Так, давайте как опишите как одного из криптидов.
Oh, well, he's a bit shorter than you, but with a larger frame, and he has longish white hair, usually a bit uncombed. You might say wild, even.
The lieutenant pulls out his notebook and begins jotting down the woman.
One other thing, he'll likely have all kinds of field gear on him, even if he's not out in the reeds, you know, just in case.
Вы давно женаты?
We'll be celebrating our 16th anniversary this autumn. Not the most numerically satisfying anniversary, but I like the less obvious milestones even more somehow.
Как вы познакомились?
Via dating agency, I'm ashamed to say. I was looking to get back into the scene after recovering from my accident, and he'd just divorced.
Мы определили, кем не человек.
We hit it off, and, well, here we are.
She's skipping over some important parts. Perhaps you'll find out more later.
I hope I've been useful.
Так, что там про ветка насекомая?
Sweetie, it's fascinating, but I shouldn't bore you with entomological minutiae.
The lieutenant gives you a sideways glance.
Ладно.
Of course, dear.
Так, а что с телефоном?
Can I help you? Got the 20 real? Then why are...
Так, пятушка.
Let me handle this. Officer Discotheque? Still wondering if we listen to disco? We don't, by the way. We don't listen to disco anymore.
Her entire character has shifted. This young woman is cold as ice.
Я просто подумал, что увидел. Стимул реакция.
Sure. Reacting to stimuli. I am not a gardener, by the way. I'm a legal counselor for the Dock Workers Union. So let's get to it. You're looking for Titus Hardy? You think he has information that will help you? Maybe he does. That's Titus. Talk to him. But know this. I'll be keeping an eye on you. No strong arming. Nothing official. The District of Martinez does not recognize your authority to make arrests.
Чё?
It doesn't matter if you recognize our authority. We will make an arrest if we...
She says nothing. Her glare speaks for her.
Так, а что если я хочу допросить не Тита, а тебя?
What you want is of no significance, officer. Don't test your authority. In Martinez, you are no one.
И какую роль ты во всем этом играешь?
Like I already told you, I'm a legal counselor.
Ладно,
Do you
музыку.
have...
She looks as if pondering whether to answer or not, but then shakes her head.
a Nordic dance music? You wouldn't get it.
Что такое нотная музыка?
It's beyond the horizon for you.
She means it's part of the future you won't experience.
А если хочу услышать?
There is nothing a determined man could not achieve.
Окей. То есть как диско?
No, not disco. Disco is undead.
Да,
I
сейчас.
guess it's fair to say you guys have it on life support.
Кому нам?
Hilm Dellerman.
Guillaume Delamen is a reference to the Northern themed action adventure series from. Actually, this is less than helpful right now. I'll just get out of the way. Sorry.
Ладно. О, так ты Хельмдар фан.
No.
Ладно.
Let's.
Ты чё такая агрессивная?
Aggressive? You make your living enforcing violence. These
О,
people are just dock workers.
о,
So you were
о.
spying on us, and now you represent murder suspects. Just dock workers.
Да.
Listen, you moral interlockies. You're a mob, enforcing the unlawful privatization of Revachol. 20 fat men in the Occident are stealing it all, and you're their bodyguards.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck.
So ask what you came to ask, or get back to your commanders.
Это мне нравится. Хорошее начало. Следующий шаг — вооруженное восстание. Какие у профсоюза планы?
Look, a comedian. Do your job, ask your questions, then get out of Martinez.
Strange. It's as if people don't believe a cop could be a socialist revolutionary.
Так, поговорим с Титом. Кстати, далеко мне там для самоубийства? 26 минут, а, боже.
Behind the dockworkers, a ceiling height window. The hawthorn branches scrape the glass.
Еще не
like
время
fingers.
вернуться.
This is where you say your bid.
Ну,
Detective,
ничего пока не говорить.
Hey, dipshit. You hard of hearing or something? The boss man's talking to you.
Do not let their squeals disturb your serenity. These are but simple peasants, sire.
Ну, пошел
God,
нахер.
is he fucking kidding? This guy high or something?
Hey, asshole, up here. We're talking to you.
we are looking for Titus Hardy.
Сперва нужно поговорить о повешенном в заднем дворе.
Oh, this is about him. A real looker, that one.
You're sure taking your time, waiting for him to get ripe and pretty for you, huh?
Oh, he was a real pretty boy by now. Real hot stuff. Letting out that pretty boy smell.
Time to go to work in the shit factory!
Shit factory.
Easy, boys. These janitors have a hell of a job cut out for them. I mean, I wouldn't go in there for $1 million.
You might want to start asking your questions now. It's not going to get better than this.
These guys are so macho, they're ready to confess to first-degree murder.
Да. Осмотреть
No,
помещение.
no. Eyes here. You got business with my boys. You got business with me.
He understood what you were doing, taking inventory of them. Now watch the other guys fuck it up by falling out of line.
Yeah! You fuck with the Hardy boys, you fuck with Titus Hardy!
Тупые, блин.
Yes, falling out of line to please him. This is the best kind. And now
Да.
this guy is going to...
Relax, Dennis. No one is fucking you yet.
use it to take a dig at his friend. Floodgates open.
Yeah, Dennis, calm down. No one's fucking you, you stupid fuck.
Let Dennis enjoy his fucking, man. We don't mind.
Да.
This one knows how to keep things going. He's a hothead, but not one to be taken lightly. The last one is a bit of a black sheep.
Yeah, you're not even being fucked, Dennis.
Easy, fellas. We got company. Let's see what brings the cop around.
Too late. You already got a pretty good picture of these guys. You can use this.
Fucking say something already!
А если на заднем дворе ваших рук дело?
The pretty boy. You guys really love talking about that pretty boy.
Funny. But my partner and I have a serious matter to discuss with you.
Ну-ка, потустороннее видение.
That is fucking bizarre. A magic man. A goddamn magician.
The lieutenant waits for your reply, patiently. His foot taps only a little. He said they killed him. These uninitiated do not understand the fineries of runic science.
Чё? Сказал, что его прикончила любовь. Хотя хрен с ним. Сказал, его убили вы. Почему?
Well, you're not completely off. We did kill him. We took him out back and hung him by the neck until he was dead. We did this together, all of us, last Sunday night. So maybe that's why he told you what he told you.
То есть ты признаешься в убийстве?
Goddamn right.
No. These 7 honest men have equally come forth. They told you what happened so that you don't waste any more of your time.
All 7 together. They're diluting responsibility. It's an anti-arrest tactic.
Ну, хорошо, и почему вы его убили?
Why? 'Cause he was worthless mercenary scum. And he stepped out alive in my town.
То есть он был наемником и все?
And he stepped out of line.
What kind of mercenary?
The kind that shows up when you start a strike. The experienced kind, too. Had Cohoy and Semenine written all over him.
Какие приятные ребята.
Special forces.
A live grenade. Right here in our bar.
This one has a special gripe with him coming here.
Okay.
I can't prove it, but I know he was sent by the Wild Pines. They hire merc shit like that. Story of every strike from here to Samara.
Откуда вы вообще знаете, что он из спецназа?
Cause one night he walked straight up to the mic and said, I'm one of these goddamn special forces, and I'm gonna fuck you all.
Really?
Yeah, really. Had a gin and tonic up there, sang some R&E's paratrooper song, and said he's gonna fuck everyone.
Хорош.
We couldn't believe it either, but he fucking did, right there. Like some kind of animal.
Sire, the tale is true. This is a serious violation of the karaoke code.
Так, ладно, а кроме преступлений против караоке, что дурного-то он сделал?
Wrong? He harassed women, raped one, harassed workers, threatened to kill some as a warning.
From rape to harassment to threats of violence. Why the strange de-escalation? He regrets mentioning it. Hopes you didn't notice.
To kill us all, if we don't open the gates, if we don't let the scabs in, if we don't bend over. That was before he started coming here.
Yeah, he said it was his favorite joint now. Started coming here every night. Drinking, grabbing girls. Grabbed one of ours mid-karaoke, right there on the stage.
He grabbed someone?
Yeah. This girl's on the mic. A beautiful girl. Young. Gets into the second verse of Lover Lake. The fucker grabs her legs, starts screaming. Show me your cunt! Why don't you show me your cunt? Then, he gets knocked on the head with a wine bottle. Doesn't even fall down.
Так, это та же девушка, которую он изнасиловал?
Aren't you fucking listening? My man is talking to you. He took care of it.
Yeah, me and Eugene got her out. Aren't you fucking listening?
There's something odd here. Seems like they don't want to talk about that rape Titus mentioned. Why not? This is a serious allegation.
Кого он
Make them
насиловал?
talk about it.
No, you're not getting the name. That's a Martinez matter, and I'm not discussing it with you clowns.
Окей. Так, а как вы его убили?
We hanged him up by his neck until he got real still. Wasn't that obvious, Copper?
Didn't they teach you anything at the cop school, idiot?
Слушайте, как интересно сделан допрос на самом деле.
This is where an autopsy would come in handy. You have to work with what you know.
Вы заткнули ему рот. У нас нет показаний о том, что кто-то слышал, что-либо слышал крики.
Titus, you don't have to clarify anything.
We overpowered him, dragged his unconscious body to the tree, put a noose around his neck, and hanged him till he was dead and steady.
Then we left him for seagulls, maggots, and you fucks.
Make them a bit more uncomfortable first, then see if it all adds up.
Третье. Ну да, попробуем.
Titus is solid as a rock, and so are a few others. But
Кто еще не пробиваем?
Elaine, who looks like he might be Titus's right-hand man, the least antsy of the bunch. Definitely not his first time being questioned by the police. This little rat-faced fellow is solid too. Always fidgety, yes, but no change there. Him neither. Mostly keeps to his tomato juice, or whatever he's got there.
А кто сдает? Да. Тяжеловато дышать, чувак.
No. Of course he's having trouble breathing. Just look at how fucking fat he is.
Fuck off, Shanky. Angus is a powerful guy. All muscle.
Keep your eye on this powerful guy. Sooner or later, he's going to break like a piece of twig.
Разве он не был профессиональным убийцей из иранского спецназа? Как вам удалось его одолеть?
With numbers, asshole. How do you think? You're right, Lizzie. I've done enough explaining here.
No, he hasn't. Not yet.
И где именно вы на него навалились?
Weren't you fucking listening? The fucker came to our bar. It happened right here.
Ну-ну, не
And
договаривайте.
fuck you too, Copper. Picking on Angus like this. We're done with this schoolyard shit. And just so you know, he doesn't have trouble breathing.
His all-muscle comment wasn't sarcastic. He's genuinely trying to look out for Angus. This one is a stone wall. You won't get more out of them about the night of the murder. Not yet.
Окей.
Like what, Copper?
Так, вы просто взяли и убили его, и никаких сожалений?
How many people have you sent to the Shays? Ever felt remorse for them?
Стул, в смысле, на электрический.
Shares électriques is the method of capital punishment in Revachol under the coalition. During the suzerain's reign, it used to be the firing squad.
Or send them to Reunion to rot. For 20 years. For life.
Тюрьма. Нет. Мы приводим в исполнение закон, вы просто убиваете людей.
But you see, a lawman, is something people agree upon. You and Martinez, we agreed that this man had to die.
This isn't something he came up with on the spot. It's his standard reasoning, a product of many years of being Titus Hardy.
Кто той ночью отдавал указания?
Are you deaf? There will be no singling anyone out. You can't arrest a hardy boy without arresting all hardy boys. Do you think you could do that? Do you think you could arrest them all?
A trick question. Don't let her lead the conversation.
Не, ну серьезно, кто главный?
Who do you fucking think does?
Я думал, она.
It wasn't a question, dickwad. How fucking stupid are you?
This asshole is worse than... Titus runs the Hardy Boys, genius. That's why we're called the Hardy Boys. Ain't that right, fellas?
I think you got your answer, Mr. Law.
Yes, there are some administrative differences. But on that night, they all acted as one man.
Ну-ну. И когда?
You don't have to keep answering his...
I know, Lizzie. Relax. We killed him last Sunday night.
Окей.
Seemed like a good way to end the week.
Окей. Как долго вы знали жертву?
Known him? We don't associate with scum like that, asshole.
Yeah! Who do you think we are?
Quiet. He came around about 3 weeks ago when that Pines cow first sailed into town. Happy?
By the Pines cow, you mean Joyce Messier, the representative for White Pines? The same company you are striking against?
No. I mean the Pines cow. The stupid-ass cow they sent in to fuck us over.
Hey.
But you know what?
Что?
Why don't you ask her about the pretty boy? I'm sure she has interesting things to say when you ask her hard enough.
That's enough insinuation for today, Titus. Officer.
Ну что теперь?
Nothing. Your investigation here is done. Leave Matt.
I think we're going to stick around, thanks. Some things don't add up here, Titus. I've done this job for long enough to know that people don't just confess to first-degree murder. Even if it is a group
Вот
responsibility.
мне тоже не нравится.
We're going to look into this.
Good luck with that. You've heard everything a rent-a-cop is gonna hear from us. Real law officials. You're lucky you didn't get a beating.
Rent-a-cop. So that's what this is about. He doesn't see you as his equals. Forget about their games. You've mapped out the characters. Reading the footprints in the yard should be easier now.
Не, ну, как бы...
The suicide of Kraz Mazov.
Так, и что?
It's clearly a lie. Kraz Mazov didn't shoot himself. Reaction was on the counteroffensive. The State Day Palace in Mirova was surrounded. He was either assassinated or died in the bombing. You might even have evidence to support this, somewhere in your brain. Mazov was never given a state funeral by the communists. Some people even say the body that was recovered from the ruins wasn't his. There, good. Hero restored to glory. Carry on, comrade.
Так, а это уже за деньги надо. Разблокировать за очко. +1 к риторике. Все белоповерки разблокированы. Так, собирательство. Ну и хрен с ним, давайте. Мне просто забавно это все усвоить. Так. Визуальный анализ и так в жопе. Интересно, что главные ворота не работают. Ладно, пойдем. Пойдем. Нам еще предстоит масса дел. Но допрос сделан интересно. Без вопросов. Допрос без вопросов. Окей. Русский язык сложный. О, трактор. А? Что? Пойдем. Ты кто?
I'm a gander in a
A simple little cadence. He seems to be making it up as he goes.
From another planet. Hey there.
Здорово. Что
It's the
происходит?
jam, my man.
Затор?
Traffic jam for the ages. Harbor gates up the street are shut tight. No explanation given. Workers on strike, scabs agitating, an all-around clusterfuck. Meanwhile, we're all stuck here in long-haul limbo for days upon days upon days.
Сколько ты уже тут торчишь?
Feels like forever. Like I was born on this here roundabout and this was all I ever knew. Just me and the metal and the tires, the oil and the fumes of mazout.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, imagine. It's been a whole week already.
Behind the laugh, however, a touch of sorrow.
Надо труп посмотреть. Ну
What
ладно.
do you need?
Мелочь для рабочего класса.
Huh? Oh. The
Они?
bosses, man.
Так. Так, чтобы еще спросить.
Dunno. What you need?
Мертвецы что-нибудь слышал?
He ain't one of us drivers. I know that. All accounted for. Otherwise, I haven't really asked about that. Been wasting time right here. Keep him busy.
It's easy to see he's telling the truth. He's kept his nose out of the dark stuff.
Деятельность какую?
Analyzing the fundamental structural and psychological conditions of being stranded in the midst of a sea of motor lorries and their sad, despondent chauffeurs.
К какому выводу ты пришел?
A sense of surprise there ain't more bodies hanging from more trees.
Нормально. Расскажи про забастовку.
It's like whatever's going on over at the docks. Workers got a blockade set up, making demands, no way in or out.
И что
Some
требуют?
pretty wild stuff I hear. Like a giant new power crane in half the company? I forget what exactly. Good on them, I guess. I've heard talk there's a company rep in town too. Like a strike negotiator type. They know what's up.
Что хочет
Precise
компания?
demands and so on. They want to keep that money flowing in, my man.
He doesn't blame them, but he's not on their side. That's for sure.
Anything else? Yeah, this ain't really my area of expertise. I just do my job and get paid. I have things to do and places to be. All of us do.
У всех?
Us lorry drivers. Camionneurs. You still hang around here waiting for this mess to end. Most have scurried off somewhere to get drunk or high. Or laid. Not that I blame them, really.
А ты сам?
Not my thing. Chasing transient pleasures is a drag these days. I prefer the examined life now. Thinking, reflecting, observing.
Что именно ты переводишь?
Oh, high-grade narcotics, illegal firearms, stuff like that.
Relax. He's merely joking.
Круто, всегда хотел, чтобы у меня был друг в преступном мире.
Ha! No, I'm joking, my man. Found runs a nice, clean business. This haul of cargo is mostly sporting goods. You know, tracksuits and that kind of thing. They usually get shipped to Grodd in the Occident. Though we've been making headway in the Il-Moran market lately.
Выходит, ничего нелегального. Ну ладно, твоя машина у тебя за спиной?
This rockin' beauty. Sure is. Like a rash you can't get rid of. You interested in heavy-duty cargo machinery?
A motor lorry, also called a camion, on Caillou and neighboring islands. This one looks roughed up enough to be some sort of found rust bucket. Maybe the A6.
У тебя A6?
Good eye, my man. Yup, she's an old one, but reliable. Me and her spent a long time together.
There it is again. A little touch of sadness beneath his cool. He thinks he's spent too long in this lorry.
Выходит, ничего нелегального.
Not unless they've illegalized sports equipment while we're pals and all, but I can't just freely
The man taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm.
Так. Да, пошло оно.
Ease into it. Don't go too far. This seems like a personal matter.
Парень, у тебя печальный вид, что такое?
I'm okay, man. Just the jams got me down. The fumes, the chemical rainbows, the tarpaulin stretched on the frames and the dull engines off.
Maybe the full-on direct approach wasn't correct.
Ты похож на человека, который мог бы разбираться в наркотиках.
Looking into someone's eyes and not doing it wrong.
Ah, man. Me and narcotics go way back. Had some good times surfing the psychic waves of my own consciousness, you know? But those days are behind me. There are other addictions in my life now. Why the inquiry, my man?
Ну... Берешь на другие пристрастия, деньги берешь от наркоторговли?
Hey, man, that's serious criminal talk. Are you trying to pull some sort of an entrapment thing on me?
Entrapment is a practice whereby an officer of the law induces a
Ну,
person to
как бы
commit a
второе.
criminal offense.
We have a credible lead, sir. Someone on this roundabout is waiting for a bulk shipment from the harbor to load it on their lorry and drive it to Jamrock.
Not me, man. No way. I don't need any trouble. Shit's bad enough anyway. This jam's got folks up in arms, and I'm afraid it's headed toward a conflagration.
Ну, а ты тут что торчишь?
Gotta guard the stuff. Bosses don't look kindly on missing cargo, and it gives me time to work on my rhymes.
A rhymesmith. This is quite credible. It goes with its cadence and way of speaking.
Кто тогда может заниматься наркоторговлей, как думаешь?
Look, man, I try to stay away from the criminal underbelly of Revachol. I'm a guest here. You really need to find another man to probe with those.
We wouldn't say he's lying, sire.
6.
Wait. There's something here, stored away in some dusty corner.
У зеркала всегда температура нулевая, как лед по венам, отражение рентген.
Whoa. What else?
Словно потир, что принимаешь на причастие безмолвном.
Silent communion. That's good.
И изумленный рот разъявив, меняешь личность, никогда не бывшую твоей.
Dang. That's some great shit. You came up with that yourself.
Я лишь сосуд для своей музы.
Right. But really, no bullshit. That's great stuff. I sort of want to know if it's yours.
Я думаю, что слова мои, да.
Fucking hey. Seems I got you all wrong. Cops aren't much known for their artistic sensibilities these days.
Сказал дальнобойщик.
It's good to meet a fellow poet. Someone with an appreciation for real text. The others here, so you don't really get it.
Красивые слова помогают все это переносить.
I get you. When they really click, it makes the world seem manageable. Good to be on the same page.
Кстати, действительно неплохо сказано, ну ладно.
He found some common ground with this man. Even impressed him. The next time you look in the mirror, though, remember those words.
Ah, man. But those days are behind me. There are other addictions in my life.
We have a...
Not me, man. No way. Look, man.
We wouldn't say he's lying, sir.
Ладно, непонятно, зачем я так сделал.
Don't be a stranger.
Why does art inspire you so much?
Вдохновляет, но что такое вообще искусство?
Excellent question. Art is a diverse range of visual, literary, auditory, and performative creativity. It's an expression of imagination and technical skill. Additionally, it's history, criticism, and pure enjoyment.
Okay.
In short, art is the highest form of human communication, representation, narrative, emotion, and agency intertwined.
А я смог бы стать частью мира искусства, ну то есть...
Have you looked in the mirror lately? You have the exact features of a savage art critic, with that beard and those clothes, disheveled and prophetic. Perhaps you should try to critique architecture too.
Да.
Yes, you seek substance. No vapid representations and reproductions of social mores as may manifest as stuffy biennials. We're talking real, living art here.
Да, соглашаемся.
Exactly. It's not go ahead.
Окей. На это говно. Смешно. Так. Пойдем все-таки труп посмотрим. Луна, ты опять здесь?
There are several footprints in the mud, left by work boots. Anywhere from 6 to 12 pairs have walked here. Wow, still not doing it. You're bad at this.
Я не могу их прочитать,
Don't
лейтенант.
beat yourself down. Neither can I. We'll have another look later.
Heavy workers' boots. Isn't this something an industrial worker would wear?
Да блин. Ну и хрен с тобой. Ну 72%, иди в жопу, я хочу перезагрузить. Ну на кой хрен я тогда разговаривал с этими Харли, со всеми остальными? Ну, это нафиг. Выслушивал эту ахинею. У нас коллективная ответственность, поэтому мы невиновны. Бэ.
There are several footprints in the mud. 8 pairs of boots have
Слава тебе,
shuffled back
Господи.
and forth in the mud. Where else have we seen a gang of men in work boots? That's right. The hardy boys in the mess hall of Welling in rags.
Смотри, каждый след в отдельности.
1. Standard work boot. Steel reinforced toes. Number 46. Just like Titus was wearing in his booth. This is the big dick. Titus Hardy.
Любопытно.
One, is it? They didn't even bother to change boots. Putting them on the scene.
У меня есть подозрение, что убили-то его в другом месте и повесили здесь. И вообще, как бы, ребята к этому отношения не имеют.
Standard work boot. Steel reinforced toes. Number 44. Either the blonde muscular guy, Glenn, or the young guy with a plectrum around his neck. 3. Hobnailed work boot. Steel reinforced toes. Number 43. The inked banger, perhaps. 4. Standard work boot. Number 45 or 46. Theo, the old smoker. You think you even see a tiny fleck of cigarette ash inside the print. 5. Another standard work boot. Reinforced toes. Number 44. Same as before. Either the musician, Eugene, or the muscle-bound blonde, Glenn. 6. Light as air. Same make of boot. But number 41.
Нужно было
Small
заняться.
like a rat. Shanky.
Да, нужно было заняться этим раньше.
Better late than never, detective. The whole world is dark and the tracks burn in it with strange beauty.
Посчитать остальные.
7. The glowing outline of a standard work boot. Number 46. The imprints are twice as deep as the others. The weight exceeds 200 kilograms. Fat Angus. Carrying something?
Последний.
8. Another standard work boot. Number 44. There's an aberration in the pattern of the sole. The right sole is smoother, more worn. Curious. A missing 8th Hardy Boy.
7 sets of tracks, right? The Hardy Boys were here.
8.
That's all? Interesting. Then one of them seems to be missing. Anything else out of the ordinary?
Note to self. This would be a good question to ask Titus. Where's the 8th man?
Так. Соответствие. Третье.
Interesting. Let's name it the Old Soul. I wouldn't be surprised if this was the missing Hardy Boy. Wonder who he is.
You can almost feel the association taking form in your frontal lobe.
Водителей.
So maybe one of them wasn't a dock worker, but a driver. That traffic jam in front of the harbor gates. I wonder if it's lasted as long as the strike.
Так. Если только, конечно, это был не оператор станка или барабанщик.
Yes, a drummer. I don't know about the drummer. Seems tangential. However, we should keep our eyes open around the traffic jam. See whether anyone strikes out as a potential suspect.
Да,
Seems
вполне
prudent,
разумно.
no? Mm-hmm.
Легкий след.
I'm guessing that's the skinny Hardy Boy. The one with his front teeth missing.
С крысиной кровью?
Yes, well, he did look a bit like a rat. You're right. Do you think those prints belong to him?
Да.
I could still be wrong, but I'm probably not.
Тяжелый.
200. This could be the combined weight of 2 people, one carrying the other who's tied up. Let's say a heavily built worker carrying a similarly built armored man.
Да.
You might be right. 200 kilograms of living weight is unlikely.
Может, это был кто-то с крайней степенью ожирения. Ты прав, жертву тащил тот крепыш из зала профсоюза.
Possibly, yes.
But why?
Почему ему пришлось... И да, вот почему ему пришлось его нести?
Yes, they could have used a makeshift stretcher or just march him up to the gallows.
Maybe the carrier wanted to impress his peers, demonstrate his physical might.
Возможно, жертва была без сознания.
Even easier to carry on a stretcher or between two men. Anyway, it's for future consideration. What else can you see?
Как думаешь, сколько этим
A
следам?
week, maybe? 7 days would...
It is not impossible.
I pulled last week's forecast for coastal Havashol. 7 days below freezing. The day before, the day of his hanging, was the last warm day.
Correct again. Sub-zero temperatures would preserve the tracks in a good state. The commotion here could have taken place a week ago.
Что, по-твоему, произошло?
What do I think? A mob of people brought something heavy to the tree. One of them was carrying the victim. They shuffled around, especially under the tree. Then, after hoisting him up, they stood in a semicircle facing his direction. At first glance, this appears to be a lynching.
Indeed. They all stood in a row here and looked at the tree.
So far, so good. Only one thing missing.
Of course, there were 8 tracks, but there are only 7 Hardy Boys.
Да, надо позволить ему
There's one
порадоваться.
pair missing from the Union box. The 8th pair.
Значит, обладатели странные, да. Да, мы это уже поняли.
I doubt the Hardys are going to tell...
6. Так. Хрен с ним. Надо, на самом деле... Во-первых, может быть, зайти надо бы. Сейчас. Уже 10 утра. Слушайте, время летит. Постарайтесь всех на пути. Ой, ну чисто. Сейчас не. Так это у меня сейчас не. Тупой. Так. Сейчас поговорим-ка с блондинкой, что он там стоит. Так, пойдем. А где она тогда? Подожди.
Kim also tries not to look at the pile of tech viscera on the carpet, or the weird suitcase on the hat rack, or the potted plant dying in the corner.
Сорян,
It's all
чувак.
just
No problem, officer.
Подожди, она снаружи, что ли? Раз, два, три. Чё с горлом? Ладно. Пам-пам-пам. Вообще интересно сделано. Расследование. Нет. Подожди, а где она тогда? Чуть не врублюсь. Ну ладно, интересно. Потом тогда. Надо не забыть, что в 9 вечера нам надо искать этого чувака. Так, пойдем. Надо сдать бутылки, кстати. Эх! Спросить про 8-го, давайте просим про 8-го.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here.
Ну, раз мы бежим. Так. Где 8-й парень, Харди?
What are you talking about, madman? There's no 8th Hardy Boy. There's 7 of us and we're all here. Or what? You want to be the 8th Hardy Boy? We ain't hiring.
Actually, boss, we've been talking and we think she could maybe...
this person Glenn wants to hire. He really respects her.
Опа!
Shut the fuck up, Glenn!
Опа!
It has to be good if he won't let you pursue it. Looks like the lieutenant thinks so too.
So let me get this straight. There is an 8th Hardy Boy. It's a she, and you don't like us talking about her?
That's right. We're not talking about this. This is a private Hardy Boys matter. Nothing to do with your shit. And you're not cops here. Don't go digging around if you don't want a bullet in the back of your head.
Good. We are all watching each other. Officer, your question.
There's no point in pushing it further, he thinks. This is already a victory.
Да.
We'll learn more about this 8th.
Интересно. То есть это... Там была какая-то женщина. Женщина-водитель. Возможно. Надо пробку обойти. Пробку обойти. Так. Так, давайте бутылки сдадим. Ну, потому что нам нужны на самом деле деньги для того, чтобы оплатить еще одну ночь, что бесит.
The tear machine stand. Your bottles clunk into the machine.
Не хватает 6,5 рублей. Ломик помогает в расследовании. Ну, тут просто есть активные места, где ты можешь использовать тот или иной предмет. Я бегаю словом просто так. А вдруг пригодится, наверное, не знаю. Кстати, к вопросу, мы там случайно не... Нет. Да, посмотрим, что тут еще.
A lorry stuck in the traffic jam. This big, heavy grad-made machine is well kept for such an old machine.
Заглянуть.
The windows are clear. They've been recently washed. You can see a lorryman's cabin with personal belongings, stickers, insignia.
Что за наклейки и эмблемы?
The driver has adorned his space with a substantial collection of peculiar paraphernalia. Proclamations about honor, strength, and purity are glued to various panels.
Что на заднем сиденье?
The back end of the cabin is a small perch to sleep, large ashtrays. There are several suns and wheels sewn into the curtains. A book with ragged edges catches your notice. The front cover features a large muscular
Ну, вообще я не очень понимаю, как деньги брать, честно говоря.
man from Eamda,
А деньги сильно нужны.
city of the pygmies.
Racist nationalist paraphernalia. Not unusual in this part of town.
Ты
This
можешь...
is our guy.
Думаешь, что грузовик нашего крутого парня?
Likely, yes. This guy is proud of who he is. Drapes it all over his machine.
Так, сейчас. Пробка. Там стоит чувак. Да, там стоит чувак. Боже, что-то только нет. Полуфинала не знаю. Я оставлю, когда закончу, я в 4 закончу, я оставлю плеер твичевский 3D клана, так что увидите. Уже все в ломбард нет. Тут ничего делать. Ломбард, говоришь. Ломбард, говоришь. Сейчас пойдем сдадим в ломбард. Я, правда, не очень понимаю, как это делать, но сейчас разберемся.
Looking for something odd? Come to tell me to fuck off again?
Водишь грузовик, что думаешь про наркотики?
Drugs? They're shit, man. I don't let anything pollute my body.
Почему?
You know where that shit comes from? Sarah Miriza, Safre, Ilmara. They take the money from our local junkies here and then use it to outcompete us in the manufacturing sector. They know they can't beat us in a fair fight, so they have to get us to weaken ourselves somehow. It's racial sabotage, racial economic sabotage.
Класс.
Perhaps it's good to agree to get him talking.
Значит, ты не водишь. Ну, хорошо. Слушай, тут я соглашусь.
He eyes you wearily, unsure how to respond. This goes on for about 2 seconds. Then, damn, it didn't work.
I don't know shit. If I did, I wouldn't tell you.
А чё ты тут торчишь?
What do you think? I can't leave the lorry unguarded. Stuff's been getting looted lately. It's those little kips sneaking around at night. If they touch my stuff, the bosses will be on.
There was a bunch of spilled boxes in the back of a big lorry nearby.
По пути сюда я видел грузовик, у которого распахнуты двери прицепа. Что там случилось?
Yeah, I knew that guy. He was an honest driver who loved this country. We were having a good debate about genetics at the Wheeling in Rags when some Kip boys smashed his lock and took damn near everything. Lost his fucking job over it. Since he left, I haven't had anyone to talk to.
If they were getting drunk inside the Whirling in Rags, how could they know who broke into the lorry?
Ну, откуда ты знаешь, что это кипты были?
What? Aren't we allowed to say that he's a Kips who do all the stealing around here? That's not rotor science, man.
Если не ты, то кто возит наркотики через терминал Б?
Isn't it obvious? Fucking Sealang. That beady-eyed Samaran. His little side business is a scam. I wouldn't be surprised if he was peddling drugs as well.
Это кто?
He's a Samaran guy who likes to pretend he's some kind of businessman. Really, he's just selling his employer stuff. Stuff
Я
he
знаю, где
stole
это.
after he
Ну ладно.
broke the seals on his Humanox lorry.
Где найти его? Где мне найти его?
Just follow the smell. It smells like apricot and oil when you're nearby.
Yes, yes. Where is he?
Looks like I offended your partner there. Too bad. Seal is
Да.
tribe are natural liars.
О, господи, что такое?
Blood. He's your man.
О, боже.
Мидас Клайер говорит, Мидас вошел в чат и поздоровался с кочевник. А Аксп, мартирчик 1/92. Паскал, сота подчеркивание вачи, Амидала, Голопупинский, Сарксвипе, Карбофос, Иидди, Темпус Фатума, Терминус сесть, Паеникс.95, Стручкт, Чевост, Гутиуиля, Гуинкс, Илост, Качабот, Патрикс, Юрия Биглизард, Иптрек.
Иптряк и Струцк мне больше всего понравились. Спасибо, Медас, за соточку. Интересный способ здороваться.
I wouldn't be so sure about it. Not until we've heard what Sealang himself has to say.
Пошла пора навестить Сельня.
Guess so.
Пойдем. Сюда бы еще стол найти. А вот и Сиель. Так, подождите, сейчас я в ломбард зайду. Опа. Нет? Странно. Так, купить я все равно ничего не могу, но продать-то я могу.
Top of the morning to you. How may I be of service?
Так, ранняя птичка.
I just like being away.
Хочу
Let me
кое-что
have a
продать.
look. Anything else you're thinking of selling?
Нет. Ну.
I'm not purchasing any more clothing at the moment, and especially that tie. It swallows photons.
Your mother is a necrotic object! I'm fun! Look at me sparkling in the light of the projector!
Сказано, фотокарточка трупа.
Oh, no. I don't like those kinds of objects. No sale.
Знаешь, что означают эти татуировки?
Photic paths, counter radiance networks, anti-magnetism. It's darkness. That's all I know. Sell me something lighter.
You have absolutely no idea what aphotic paths are, but the tattoos on
Another time, perhaps.
А хрен с ним.
feeling warm and enthralled by the movement of light, while the line
Хорош.
continues to race forward. Lucky bastard. He's probably on Pyrrolidon. It's tough to come by on the street.
Пиролидон, что это такое?
A drug developed by the military to treat and prevent radiation sickness. It has psychedelic side effects, and it makes your eyes turn yellow.
Ну-ка, ну-ка. Зрачки.
Why on earth? These are prescription. I can't really see without them.
There's a note of indignation in his voice. Interesting.
Я не осуждаю, мне просто интересно. Я сам его... Ну да. Наркотики.
Pyrrolidon is just something you know, since the People's Power disaster. I was with the Emergency Relief Brigade. Had to take it for radiation sickness.
He's taken it for mental and emotional, not physical pain these days.
Родный котел?
A bad idea.
Bad
Some
idea.
poor leftist built a particle decay generator in hopes of bringing affordable electricity to underserved communities. It malfunctioned. Radioactive waste everywhere. Probably some of it in you too.
Расскажи об этой аварийно-спасательной бригаде.
We were an all-volunteer force, self-organized. Tried to help the fire brigades contain the spill. I lived by the river since I was a small boy. The Esperance. Didn't have the art to let it all go to shit without trying to do something to help out.
Okay.
There wasn't much the volunteer force could do, however. We wasted years in the river mud. Years getting sick.
Должно быть было сложно.
There's a reason why everyone's tried to forget any of it ever happened, and why no one has tried to repair or replace the pile. So much disappointment, and early deaths. Cancer mostly. And we knew all that was coming even as we were cleaning up as best we could.
Кто был виноват в аварии генератора?
No one's. Everyone's.
So much bitterness.
A bunch of poor people built themselves a primitive nuclear reactor, hoping for the best. What do you think is going to happen?
А как ты открыл ломбард?
The cleanup happened 15 years ago. I was young then. Later, my second aunt died. Left me this shack and all the assorted junk in it. So I came to Martinez. People told me don't go there. It's a shithole. I said, people, we just had a nuclear pile meltdown. I'm gonna get as far away from Forburg as I can. Still in the same city, but...
Спасибо, что рассказал.
I like the theory more than the story. Outward movement, not vortices.
Yeah, you gotta get in on those vortices, my man.
Level up. Так, риторика, логика. Убиваем логику. Я думаю, что там психику какую-нибудь возьмем потом. Не знаю, правда, какую? Авторитет. Будем давить всех авторитетом. Логикой и авторитетом. Авторитетом и логикой. Так, ладно, пойдем с этим поговорим. Интересно, что в этот раз не работает эта фигня. Ну ладно. Так, иди сюда.
You see a Cimarron Street. The name Sile.
Happy shopping, officer.
Что круто?
Everything's good.
Ну, это...
Very cool. Bang, 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 bang.
У меня есть полицейские вопросы.
You're right, officer. 100%. No playing around then. Strictly business.
Дай денег.
Start with a little compliment, then work your way up from there. This is about business, remember.
Деньги! Ты крайне успешный предприниматель. Может быть, ты найдешь возможность поддержать сотрудника местной полиции?
Oh, okay. But why, officer?
Ну, считай это вложением.
An investment? What kind of investment?
Это вложение в меня, сверхсовременное экспериментальное человеческое существо. Мое соотношение риска и прибыли
I
зашкаливает.
guess it can't be any riskier than speculating in exotic derivatives. How much are we talking about here?
10 реалов.
10 real is a bargain for that kind of investment. You got it, my man.
Откуда ты, Сейлень?
Me? It's a boring story, officer. Who cares about the past?
По крайней мере, мою аренду номера отбили.
Or Revachol.
This man probably comes from Seaguy, sometimes known as the Apricot Suzerainty, an archipelago in the Samoan Isola.
Из абрикосового суверенитета.
Apricot Suzerainty calls to mind an era when the Seaguy archipelago was colonized by Revachol. It's a bit of a slur, in other words.
Извини, не так хотел сказать. Я имел в виду, что ты из Сигея.
Very cool. I admire your awareness of our intertwined
Да.
histories. It's super nice of you to apologize for colonialism. But the Apricot Suzerainty is a shithole. That's why I left.
Да. Но, нет. Ладно, да, но раз сраный дорогой он стал не из-за Ревашоля?
If you say so, officer, I don't worry too much about politics.
Ладно, что ты думаешь о наркоте? Да. Меня его акцент бесит.
It's good for me.
Брать будешь? $200 брать будешь?
I don't go in for that, officer. Drugs ruin lives. Unless you're into drugs, of course. In which case, drugs are excellent. Mwah! Tasty, tasty drugs.
Так, мы ищем водителя грузовика, который привозит наркотики из порта. Он или она в этой пробке.
That's so cool. You investigating the local drug trade like some cool narc? But I am not a lorry driver. I am just a street vendor. I don't know anything about that.
A blatant lie, sire. Yet he tells it with such conviction. We'd believe him if we didn't know better.
Да, ну ты водитель, другой шофер опознал тебя, и твой грузовик.
Who said that? It's the fat racist, right? I bet it's him. He has an agenda against me because I'm an immigrant who works harder than he does. He's a hater.
So you admit you're a lorry driver?
Okay, maybe I'm a lorry driver too. A little. But that's not the most important thing about me. That's my day job. This is my dream.
Так ты забыл мне сказать?
Exactly. It's such a small part of my life. It's in the rear view mirror now. I'm climbing out of that hole with ingenuity.
Хватит юлить.
Nothing. I told you. I'm not a dumb guy. I don't get involved with that crowd.
Опа.
And what crowd is that?
Crowd. You know, the drug crowd.
No, he wasn't talking about an abstract crowd. It was that crowd.
Хорошо, если ты не знаешь, что я расскажу твоему нанимателю, что ты продаешь его груз.
No use. He's not telling us. He's too afraid. We need to take him to my station and ask him there. After we've called his boss.
Okay, look. There's bad people doing bad things here. That's all I know. Please don't get me into this mess. I spent 15 years working my way up.
Here we go. There's a tiny bit of truth on the table. Zoom in on it.
Если не хочешь, чтобы тебя впутали в этот бардак, ты должен нам причину двигаться дальше.
It's a she, okay? The other drivers call her the lady driver. You're better off staying away from her. The way they talk about her, she's no lady.
Это не та?
I don't know. Maybe. If she is, I haven't gone near her. I don't get involved. I told you.
It could be. She was strange. He's not ruling her out.
Кто эти другие водители, которые о ней говорят?
All of them. I don't know. I told you all I know. Are we cool now? I really want us to be cool now.
Who exactly is talking about this lady driver of yours? The racist or the other one with the tattoos?
All of them. Even the ones who've left. I don't hang out with them. I
Окей.
don't remember who has tattoos.
Проехали.
All right. I scored.
Так, сейчас, подождите, давайте сюда зайдем просто. Да бегай, пожалуйста, ты бесишь. Ой. А тут ничего и нет. Ну ладно, пойдем. Так, сейчас, кстати говоря... А это что такое? Понятно. Я тебя понял. А это кто? Интересно?
Yes? Hello?
Кто вы такая?
No one. I'm just a working class woman.
She doesn't really want to be disturbed that much. If she's such a working class woman, why isn't she working?
Работяга не должна работать?
Not all the time. Right now I'm browsing books. Even a working class woman needs something to read.
Славно, славно.
It is. I know you are.
Everyone can see that. The rectangles.
Помощь полиции. Смотри-ка, она перебирает книги.
Over the book covers. The tips of her fingers look rough, stained with yellow. It seems like she has spent a lot of time at work, smoking. Another comrade. Years of labor are pressing down on her shoulders.
Обнять ее.
Step in and close your arms around this foreign body, wandering astray in touch. There's a small movement beneath your hands as you shut your eyes. Then a tiny voice breaks out.
What is happening?
She seems to be confused. Your hands are wrapped around her polyester coat. The fabric is cold, moist from the sea nearby.
Продолжайте ее обнимать.
The situation is oddly intimate. Your cheek is pressed against her shoulder. Her hand is trapped between your chest. 5 seconds pass, and their passing seems so unimaginably long. Then she coughs and says again,
What are you doing, officer?
"Less talk, more feeling. Keep your eyes closed. Soak in the closeness. See what the feeling entails."
Я сражаюсь за работника. Не
The
открывай глаза.
feeling continues. Warm and comfy on the cold shoreline. You hear a question rising to the surface, trying to break the sensation.
Позвольте ему сформироваться вопросу.
So tell me, how does it feel to be close to someone, skin to skin?
Ну, давай первое.
I wonder how long it has been since you last hugged someone.
Нет, не хочу.
Officer, what are you doing?
Эй, я сражаюсь за рабочий класс.
Fighting for it how?
Обнимашки единочек всех буржуев гонят прочь. Это гениально. А это гениально.
I guess it's better than nothing. Keep fighting on, my fellow comrade.
Прелесть
Is there
какая.
anything else I can help you with?
Муж у вас, может,
My
пропал.
husband? No, he's not.
Где он?
I don't know. At home now? Out drinking with his friends?
Это гениально. Обнимашки единочек всех буржуев гонят прочь. Это гениально просто.
Where is this going, officer?
Да так. Вы не знаете, где ваш муж?
Yes, but I don't really need to know where my...
Ладно. Ладно.
Of course.
She has the husband is totally lost. You should tell her that it's okay.
That is okay. В этом нет ничего
Who
постыдного.
said anything about shape?
But he is. You can feel it. Or maybe it's something else then.
Где пропали?
No, absolutely not.
И где
Are
они?
you a policeman or a nanny?
Обнимашек Хаги. Хаги монстр. Ну ладно. Янька?
They are not missing.
You know where they are. They're at home, smoking, giving the ladder of vices a chance.
Они дома, курят сигареты.
What? That's just... My daughters are perfectly fine. They're with their friends down in Jamrock. They're almost grown up now anyway.
Ладно, хватит, это наркомания какая-то. Ну это какая-то наркомания, извините, мне хватило обнимашек. Обнимашки уже хороши были. Блин, а мусор одноразовый, что ли? Не восполняется? О, там... А, ну там боули играют. Ладно, пойдем заплатим за квартиру, за комнату. Обнимашки день всех буржуев гонят прочь. А, это гениально.
The dented yellow mailbox grew. The box seems happy.
Так. Ходим, собираем бутылки. Нормальный полицейский такой. Не зря риторику качал, между прочим, деньги получил.
Can I help you? Got the 20 real? Good. You got the room for the night, but remember, you'll need a...
You know, there might be other places to sleep on this coast. You'll find one.
Ладно. Я чувствую, что дешевле было бы обойтись вообще без номера.
The man ponders his cooking utensils.
Знаешь, что за той дверью?
Then looks shrugging is an international sign for.
Понятно. Надо еще ствол найти, я вообще без понятия, где он. Это отдельная проблема. Я даже предположить не могу, вот в чем проблема. Это беда. Это беда. Беда, 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 беда. Я так могу долго, да. Так, стоп. Идиот. Что? Что? Чё, нормально все. Чё вы начинаете? Так, ты знаешь эту рулевую даму? Похоже, она замешана в делах с наркотиками, чувак.
All I can say is, she isn't around here anymore. She isn't some evil drug trafficker. And I don't know where she is.
Что это за человек, как его зовут?
Thank God I don't know. People here call her the lady driver. She kept her name a secret. From me too. Now I see why.
Как она выглядит?
A youngish woman. Gruff, but in a cool way.
What color hair?
Blue and violet. Dyed. It was violet when she got here. Blue before she went.
Then she may have dyed it again.
Как она тебе?
A friend? An acquaintance. I don't know. She was the only person in this damn jam I could talk to. She's someone I don't want to rat out to the law, okay?
Я уже тебя спрашивал.
I didn't, man. I told you I was hoping it's not her.
He still is. Hoping. It's true. We would of course lie. But a kind heart is tricky. Bah. Emotional rhetoric. He knew something and he didn't share it with you.
Damn, I don't want to... Please just let it go. Whatever she did, it can't be that bad. She's not a bad person. I know that much.
We can't just let it go. It's part of a police investigation.
That's how it always is with you, isn't it? All part of the investigation. The girl's troubled. If you hunt her down, she may not survive it. I can't have that on my conscience.
It won't come to that. We won't pursue her on this. This is information only.
I don't believe you.
Ты говоришь, что у нее свои тараканы. Что это значит?
She's got the darkness in her. That young person's darkness when you think it's all over. And you're looking for a way out.
She shared this with you?
Yes. Which is why I don't want to snitch on her.
Мне говорят, что все ее боятся.
I heard the rumors. I saw the other drivers looking at me strange when we talked. And she told me, too, that she's had a violent life. But I wasn't afraid of her. More like for her.
Did this violent life include drug trafficking?
Well, it looks like it did now. But we didn't talk about that. We talked about life, you know? She talked about her mind.
Творится у нее в голове?
The way it worked. The trouble it was giving her.
Оставила свой грузовик?
Fuck, man. Go grill someone else with these questions, okay? There are plenty of drivers here who couldn't stand her, or were afraid of her. They'd be more than happy to rat her out.
He's right. There are other options.
Да, расист, я тоже про него подумал.
The grey-haired woman. Maybe she knows something. Wait, this guy says they're friends. Then, acquaintances. And he's okay with others ratting her out. Push Tommy and it will break his heart. And his spirit. Don't expect you to be pals.
Значит, ты не против, что ее сдадут другие?
Fine. I don't want to be a butcher. And I don't want to be a knight either. I just want to be a person who can sleep at night.
Ладно, оставим это
Thank you,
дело.
friend.
Ну, что-то не хочу его терзать. Пойдем потерзаем расиста, ну его нахер. Расист, иди сюда.
Looking for something odd? Come to tell me to fuck off again?
Где рулевая
I
дама?
don't know what you're talking about.
Расскажи мне, какой грузовик ее?
Listen up, fuckwits. You don't scare me. You cops don't run Revachol West. You don't run Martinez. You don't run anything.
А кто управляет? Рулевая дама?
No. He means La Puta Madre.
A legendary, and not in a good way, crime boss from Jamrock.
La Puta Madre.
Controls what is probably the most powerful organized crime outfit in
Organized
Revachol
crime.
West. Looks like the lieutenant has a plan. Let him do this.
Yeah, him.
Скрестить руки и кивнуть.
Then I presume you are familiar with his peonies.
Yeah, they're his little bitches. He's got them all over the unions.
Not just the unions. He has peonies everywhere. Some say he even has them in the RCM. Dirty fucking peonies would do anything for him.
Хорош.
Drug addicts.
Хорош, хорош.
The lieutenant adopts a rodentine quality. Be cool, sire. He's getting into this.
Shit.
You're not peonies. You wouldn't be investigating a drug thing if you were.
No, of course not. We are not peonies. But if we were, and one of Madre's drivers were to be stealing from him, then it's a good peony's job to find out who that is.
He's surprisingly good at this. Not bad at all. Look at him lurching.
It's not a hard job. It
Хорош.
won't take a long time. It won't make Madre angry. But a stupid fucking racist is standing in the way, protecting this fucking thief.
I'm not scared of you or the mob. I'm under the protection of the Lorryman and Carter's Guild.
Haha.
You've seen that corpse in the ceramic armor there. Did his shitty little guild protect him?
Nah, you wouldn't just leave him out there if you...
The lieutenant turns and gives you a barely perceptible nod. I've softened him up as best I could. Now it's on you to finish the job.
Ну давай.
The main thing is to not overdo it, even when you're trying to scare someone. The most important thing is, how does it look on your resume?
Только мы с тобой выйдем и поговорим.
What? What do you think there's some kind of homo thing? Make me, runt. Not the most popular topic nowadays, with a coalition in charge and all. Suit yourself, officer.
Так, сейчас. 17%. Это жопа. Это просто жопа. Жопа, 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 жопа. И такой важный разговор, и 17%. Ты издеваешься, что ли? Мне, кстати, левела случайно нет? Да, далеко еще.
Looking for something odd? I
Да.
don't know what you're talking about. Listen
Да.
up, fuckwit.
No.
A legend looks like
Then I...
Yeah.
Not just...
the lieutenant.
You're not.
No.
He's
It's not a...
I'm.
You've...
Nah.
the loot. I softened him up as best I could. The main thing is to not overdo it, even when you're trying to scare someone. The most important thing is
Просто расскажи.
Make me.
Let's just go and ask Tommy, alright? We are wasting our time here.
Да на сумрак, по-моему, нету. А, есть. Так, есть на сумрак. Я попробуем с сумраком прокатить. Жесть. Нет, подожди. Так. Сумрак +1. А что мне снижает сумрак? Военно-морское пальто мне снижает сумрак. Сумрак +2.
Looking for something odd? I don't know what you're talking about. Listen up.
No.
a legend looks
Yeah. Him.
Then I presume...
Yeah.
Not...
the loot.
You.
He's
It's not...
I'm.
You've seen...
Nah.
the loot. I softened him up as best I could.
О!
Now it's on you to finish. The main thing is to not overdo it.
Make me.
Let's just go and ask
Ладно.
Tommy.
58 уже хорошо. Ща! Спокойно. «58» уже нормально. Скотина, блин. Какая же ты скотина, а,
Looking for
жирная.
something odd? I don't know what you're talking. Listen up.
No. Then I presume...
Yeah.
Not just...
The loot.
You know.
He's
It's not...
I'm.
You've seen...
Nah.
the lieutenant. I softened him up as best I could. Men like this only
Ах,
respect two
слава богу.
things: strength and fear.
Давай, мать твою.
Fuck you. I told you. I'm not gonna.
There. His voice grows smaller as yours.
Так. Я буду ебать тебя до конца своих дней, ты понял?
Fucking homo cop. Look, fuck you, man. It's some lorry down there. Green banged up thing. I
Что это
don't
говорит?
fucking know who she is.
When did she go away?
I don't know. I don't even know her name. She just rolls with the fleet and acts like a big shot. Some dyke, probably. I haven't even seen her for days.
Где ее грузовик?
Past the monument. Down there. The Green Temple. Now, leave me the fuck alone, okay?
A small temple by the monument. Green. Let's get into that lorry.
Looks like he got his adrenaline up, too.
Все. Аллилуйя. Аллилуйя. Так, подожди, что у меня вообще? Внушение -1, авторитет -1.
Моя жизнь принадлежит Орде.
Спасибо, Хлорио, большое. Ой, кошмар какой. Недалеко от памятника. Ну, ёп. Вот он. Ну-ка.
This green found, A to Z, contemporary, is parked in the shadow of the ruins looming overhead. It's
Да.
seen better days.
Бомжекоп рулит.
This must be the one he told us about. Unless he was lying.
Попробуй заглянуть в
The
окно.
glass on the side windows is tinted and covered with dust. You can barely make out the shape of the seat and two steering levers.
Дверная
The door
ручка.
is locked. The handle looks shiny, like it's recently replaced.
Как им открыть, Ким?
Use the pry bar to smash the window. Open it from the inside.
Okay.
I don't know how good it is, but this investigation has taken long enough. We can't afford it to take any longer.
Есть у меня что-нибудь на грубую силу?
This screen found A to Z, content pry bar in hand. Looks like the window might be another few.
This has been.
He smashes it into the window. Droplets of glass fly everywhere, shattering over the lorry floor and pavement. You can just reach in now.
Просто
The
открыть
smell of
дверь.
cigarettes and perfume welcomes you. The cabin inside is plastered with old movie posters. Actresses smile from the walls. There's a radio transmitter in the front and a
Причем,
toolbox
да.
under the driver's seat. Some tools lie scattered near the pedals.
Оценить плакаты.
These are movie posters featuring starlets
Почему эти
from
руки не разбить
long-forgotten
окно, это,
films
конечно, 5.
from the 20s, the teens, even the 90s of the last century. One of them particularly catches your eye. A centerfold of an ingenue attached right above the back seat.
И изучить.
The actress is draped in a sheath dress, one of her shoulders bared. The faded remains of an autograph run across the poster. She's looking past the camera. This is Tijon, a starlet from the dawn of cinematography, less known for her talent than her tragic, untimely death.
Что это с ней
She
случилось?
wasted away in a drug den called the Door to the River, not far from here, on Boogie Street, a mixture of cocaine and morphine. She was afraid of the world, and the camera, too. The actresses and the rear actor all smile you a warm goodbye. A radio transmitter is attached to the dashboard, and a toolbox sits under the driver's seat.
Так, осмотреть педали.
You wedge yourself under the steering wheel to get a better look. Seems like the few tools lying around here, a hammer, a pair of pliers, a rusty wrench, have been casually thrown there by the disorganized driver. But one odd detail does catch your eye. A piece of sandpaper has been glued to the throttle. Sandpaper adds extra grip.
Так, смотри-ка. Похоже, шофер наклеил на педаль газа наждачную бумагу, чтобы не скользила нога.
Sandpaper? A novel technique?
Наждачная должна была стереть узор с подошвы правого ботинка водителя.
Yes?
Do the honors, he thinks. Connect it yourself.
Ну, как бы 8-я.
Which means that the missing lady driver was present at the lynching.
Так. Сперва торговля наркотиками, потом это.
Now we know for certain who's the missing eighth person at the lynching. Do you think that Hardy and his boys could also be involved in the drug operation?
Ну, не обязательно.
You're right. But we should still go and see what Titus has got to say on the matter. Are we finished with the lorry?
The movie stars are still smiling from the walls.
Подожди.
The radio transmitter sits on the center
Да-да-да,
console.
выдвижной
A
ящик.
drawer slides out from the seat. It's empty.
Развернуть
It's an
газету.
issue of Petty Ferric from last Wednesday. A piece of paper falls out from its pages.
Подобрать.
It looks like an article ripped out from a radio enthusiast magazine. Complex mathematical equations explain the basics of something called the Ulan frequency system.
The Ulan frequency system? I've never heard of that before. I know of FM, AM, UKV, but...
The pull-out toolbox slides back.
Осмотрите
It looks
радио.
like the frequency dial is absent. It requires a key to work, but the key has been removed, likely by the missing lady driver.
Strange. There are so many radio stations saved here. Must be over 100 at least.
Зачем кому-то столько радиостанций?
For contacting an entire fleet of lorrymen, for example. This is all shortwave, UW and UKV. Looks like we are dealing with an impressive organizational tool. The nerve center of a huge operation. with quite a range too.
Можем что-то сделать с радио?
Doesn't look like it. It's completely inoperable with
The smell of 1,000 cigarettes enclosed the rusty...
Great. I think we got everything. A word, detective? Before we return to Joyce?
Ну, давай.
All right.
Нет.
We're finished here. Let's quickly debrief and go over what we found, so we don't do it in front of the company rep.
Okay, Kim.
Honestly, I'm quite worried by what we've seen so far. The evidence seems to point to a rather extensive and well-organized operation. I'm especially intrigued by that radio transmitter, particularly the sheer number of stations it can connect. Looks like this alleged drug trade casts a wide net.
This means it's well-funded. Technology like that, a major player must be financing it.
I'm not sure what the ULAN frequencies are all about, but they may hold some significance. Perhaps it's a better way to connect between fleets while avoiding frequency bleed, or maybe it's used to tap into RCM networks.
Listening in on your calls, between you and your station, a worrying prospect.
And last but not least, it looks like the Hardy Boys knew this driver, as we know that she was present at the lynching. This may be the Union connection we've been searching for.
The probe and the case converged, he thinks. This was quite the find.
Ну, плакаты?
As elegant as they are, I don't think they are relevant to the drug trade.
На плакатах много женщин.
Yes, well...
Unimportant.
As elegant as they are, I don't think they are relevant to the drug
Киноман?
trade. Yes, well...
Unimportant.
Чё это?
As elegant as... I'm going to say no.
Ладно, выходит, это действительно связано с профсоюзом.
Like Joyce told us, yes, logistically. But don't expect to bust this open during our stay here. At best, this is an angle we can use against them, to other ends, as extra ammunition.
Говорим насчет расследования?
We should return to the murder case. See what Joyce tells us about the lynching. When we are done for the day, I call my station and suggest our narcotics department look into it. There are more than enough grounds to start an official investigation, sometime later when we are done here. We do not want to get caught in that. The fact that one hasn't started already gives me pause. An investigation, I mean. Especially if the Madrid grouping is involved, and I can't imagine they aren't. It's certainly worrisome.
Ну да, коррупция.
All the same, I don't like the idea of internal affairs descending on the matter. That won't help anyone either.
Ладно, закончим.
Debrief over. After you.
Так, ну, надо идти к Джойс. Я думаю, к Джойс надо идти до бандитов или к бандитам до Джойс. Точнее, докерам, извините. Они не бандиты, они благородные... Благородные разбойники. Мы не бандиты. Мы благородные пираты. Извините. Господи, какой ты медленный, а? Чё?
I saw you poking around in Lady Driver's lorry. She in trouble?
Простите, рассказал нам, где стоит ее оставить грузовик, мы просто его обыскали.
Still better than me, I guess. Told you there's plenty of others who tell on her. But is she in trouble?
С ней все будет хорошо, я думаю. Ну или будет расследование. Не факт. Ну, наверное, будет расследование.
It's that bad. Man, what should I do? What should I do to help her?
Тебе не надо ничего делать, не волнуйся.
Yeah, maybe I should just keep my head down and work on my rhymes while I can.
Так, а что ты вообще задумал с этими текстами?
Oh, you know. Tommy Leham's gonna be a musician. Sprechgesang, or with beats. I've got a lot of free time on the road to hone my craft.
The correct grammar is Tommy Lahom.
Почему Томми Леом?
Tommy Lam was taken.
Ah.
My name's Jerry Lafitte. Tommy's way better.
It's more him.
Так,
The man
вопросы.
taps his fingers.
Пятый. Так. Я хотел бы еще кое-что попробовать.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out, a metallic drawer, a pull-out toolbox.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Ответишь что-нибудь про серийный номер?
Yes. The armor was produced by Fairweather in their facilities in Betancourt, sur la Clé in 42. It was part of a special order for Corps de Pharmacie, a security firm contracted to protect the interests of Oranese pharmaceutical companies in the Seminine conflict.
Ни хрена.
So, it seems the armor went to Seminine. That's where the paper trail ends, though. Even the firm has proven difficult to track. Corps de Pharmacie has been renamed several times over in the years since the armor was issued.
Знаете, как она называется теперь?
The most recently registered firm that the ICP has been able to connect to the CDP is a military contractor called Trinell, and the one before it was Downwell. I think they might be the same contractor.
Armor like this isn't mass-produced. It would have probably been fitted. Perhaps there's a record of who signed for this particular suit of armor.
Так, должна была сохраниться информация о записи о том, кому
Yes,
выдали.
but the ICP tends to be reluctant to share private sector records. I could try to talk them into it, though.
This is a fun challenge for her, an opportunity to contribute beyond doing her job by rote. She'll gladly put in the extra effort for Team RCM.
Да, постарайтесь.
Sure. Call back tomorrow. Hopefully I will have more information for you then.
Владельца бронированных ботинок. А, ну, понятно.
Just a...
10-4, come in, officer. Over. Roger that. 10-10, over.
Окей. Частный подрядчик. Частный военный подрядчик. Красота-то какая. Капитализм во всем его многообразии. Пойдем с Харди Бойс поговорим. Все по дороге. Да. А потом пойдем с профсоюзом разговаривать. Закончится этой наркоманской херней.
I've got nothing to say to you. Why are you wasting your time? What are we going to do to you? The union isn't going to do. If anything, it.
Девица Харди.
You could be Liz. You could be anything. You could even be a model.
О, боже мой.
Even a mod? Glenn, I went to law school. I am an attorney.
Ладно, ладно. Харди, давай-ка поговорим.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here.
Так. Я нашел связь между вами и местной наркоторговлей. Прикинь.
Like hell you have. There is no local drug trade. This place is as clean as a rifle. Go back to Jamrock and ask the local junkies how clean your streets are in Precinct 41 Kilos.
Миленько.
We'll do that. In the meantime, did you know that there's an abandoned lorry at the intersection that was used to move raw ingredients for drugs from Terminal B to Jamrock? The person driving it was present at the hanging. It was one of you. We've connected the footprints. Detective, do you want to deliver the coup de grâce?
No, the thunder is his. Leave it to the lieutenant.
Уступай, это твое заслуженное право.
Thank you. You're right, Titus. There is no local drug trade because it's all controlled by you. You're the drug trade.
That's a mighty interesting theory. I guess that's what you would need to do, theoretically. A big, strong, state-run monopoly would outcompete the runts on the street.
Huh.
Yeah, man. Theoretically, that's what you would do. To get rid of the gangs, the dealers,
Хорошие докеры.
You would need good, trustworthy people to take their place, of course. Hardy men to run such a monopoly. For the good of the community, of course.
Yes, but that just sends everyone else to Jamrock, doesn't it?
Так. Мы просто перенаправили поток в Джемрок, скинули проблему на нас.
We haven't done anything, but theoretically, it has to be someone's problem, so it might as well be yours.
Titus, I'm amazed. Where is the same professionalism when it comes to other topics? You're doing great. I hardly have to interfere at all.
I don't know, Lizzie. I guess theoretical things don't make me emotional. Now, was there anything else? I was sorta gonna get...
Not quite yet, Mr. Hardy. There were 8 sets of prints on the crime scene. There are only 7 Hardy boys here.
8-й Харди, которого не хватает, Это же она ведет наркодела, так?
My answer is... fuck off. Mind your own business. There is no 8th Hardy. I run this goddamn scene.
Oh.
Finally, you got something out of him. This could prove useful in the future.
And here we go. Back to the usual.
I know! Fatty walked on all 4s. He's so fucking fat he left 2 sets of footprints.
О, Господи.
Go fuck your mom, Dennis.
That's more like it, boys. You heard him. It was Angus on all 4s. Anything else you need to know?
Я пойду пока. Потому что авторитет у меня сейчас не выведет просто. Этого я изучал юриспруденцию. Окей, пойдем к этой женщине. Пусть она нам расскажет конфиденциальную информацию. Потом уже пойдем к этим... Ну, к этим. Ну, вы поняли. Профсоюзникам. В 3%? Спасибо. Спасибо, да, спасибо. Сейчас займусь. Неужели я собрал весь мусор? Как же деньги?
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Я поговорил с водителями грузовиков на перекрестке.
Yes, my eyes on the harbor have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered?
Погодите-ка, а где конкретно расположены эти ваши глаза?
It doesn't really matter. And I do apologize for the surveillance. Wild Pines can't afford to be blind at a time like this.
Да.
In any case, it's a relief to know someone has looked into it. If I may ask, will there be an official investigation? I assume you discovered there is an operation.
If there is an investigation, it will be part of an ongoing operation, subject to confidentiality. I'm sure you understand.
Of course, detectives. In any case, you've held up your end of our arrangement. I trust you with the rest. Now it's my turn. I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have a bloodbath on our hands.
The words bloodbath sound cold in her mouth. They taste
No.
of iron and strawberries.
Вы сказали резня?
Yes. I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war, with possible consequences for all of Rivershoal West.
Seems fair chilling, man. This is also the RCN's worst-case scenario.
Then we're on the same page, as grim as it may be.
Я уже наслышан о том, что самосуд связан с забастовкой, но мне нужны ваши показания.
I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail.
Кратковременная потеря веры.
They were dispatched after I relayed the union's initial offer.
Every worker...
A member of the board. I tried to convince my employer it was simply an opening gambit, like you suggested, or a joke even. They did not appreciate the humor.
Вам нужна охрана?
Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the Union into surrendering.
Oh.
Who are they, exactly?
Crenell, an Oranese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating. They wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment.
So, what happened?
The story is, one of them, the colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant Union members to subdue him. He was taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched last Sunday night.
А что потом?
Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbour. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Crenell contractors carry out their orders, for now.
For now?
It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow.
What is the nature of this so-called investigation?
Whether to execute one, some, or all of the Union militants.
It'll be all of them. The decision is already made.
Возможно, нам удастся объединить расследование, имею в виду поделиться ресурсами и информацией.
Surely you're joking. These people are killers. My only hope is that yours provides a single, concrete suspect before they indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put, if you don't pin this on someone good and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the Union to respond.
Хорош.
The Debardeurs have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1.
Have you ever seen a Hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? It's not pretty.
The Serai's giant hornet, the world's second largest insect, can kill 40 honeybees a minute, while a group of 30 can decimate an entire hive of 20,000 bees in less than 4 hours.
These men work in tandem using semi and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most Union workers don't have guns at all. As I said, a bloodbath.
Да, конфликт неизбежен.
It doesn't have to be like this. Nameless, badgeless officer of the citizens' militia. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation.
Что вы знаете о Кренеле?
Not much. Their public resume is relatively good, as far as private military contractors go. I believe they were once called Downwell. They boast a long list of clients: Saint-Baptiste, Welchman-Lorenz, Eintracht. A warning sign, however. The operations concerned all take place in third or fourth world countries. Guarding facilities, escort missions and such.
Да, энциклопедия отличная.
Meaning they're used to operating in war zones.
Yes. All the good conflict corridors, Supramundi, Yesut, the Seminese Islands, countries that don't have a good record reporting atrocious military conduct on their soil. Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the resources. If you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take some time, though.
Do you know a lot about the inner workings of the RCM and the ICP, ma'am?
In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I'd be dealing with a group like Crenell.
Можете связаться с компанией, попросить отозвать их?
I have. And they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here.
Хорош.
Until they do, it's all on us.
She's being truthful. She is pressing them as hard as she can.
Вы сказали, что погибший напал на женщину.
Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it.
И что же сказали эти подростки?
That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinez.
The lieutenant consults his notebook. his eyebrows knitted in concentration.
Odd. We haven't heard any reports about an assault in connection with the lynching. Where did it take place?
Чё?
When?
Last Sunday night, at the Whirling in Rags,
Так мы же
the
только что
hostel by the
просили.
gates. Supposedly, the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotics too. Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him.
Что это была за женщина?
That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a rumor about a rumor. In any case, it's what the colonel's remaining colleagues believe.
You meet her soon enough, you feel.
Так, что скажите, этот полковник, которого повесили, вы знали его?
If you mean did I see him alive? Yes. But I did not know him.
Его звали?
Lely. His service name. A nom de guerre, most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one.
Лели, что еще о нем знаете? Национальность, примерный возраст. Да-да-да, я тоже не думаю.
He was 40. Or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw. It made it difficult to estimate his age, or gauge his facial expressions.
What else? Nationality? Accent?
He was, Occidental, I think. Light brown hair, a mixed accent, Oranese, or Messinian, maybe. His injury gave him an accent all his own.
Hey.
In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it, through the injury. That's all I know, I guess. I only met him once.
Так, 5.
What do you mean, did I see him
Его
alive?
звали...
Rarely.
Расскажите остальных.
One is a man, Corty, they call him, a nickname as well. The other a woman, Phyllis DePaul. Corty is the gunner, I believe. DePaul is a radio operator.
What would you say was his eye color, the deceased's?
She closes her eyes, trying to picture the man's face, then shakes her head.
I can't remember.
The lieutenant was testing her, asking a small detail first to see if she knew him better than she let on. She passed.
That's all right, ma'am. Anything else? Nationality? What would you say was his age?
He was 40 or 50. It's hard to say.
Да, хорошо.
Anyway, it was humanizing.
Где сейчас остальные
To learn to
наемники?
speak. They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, they're almost certainly armed to the teeth.
Так.
They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes. Ghetto savages. It will not be a fruitful meeting.
Хорошо, постараемся пока держаться от них подальше.
That's wise. Our goal is to
Сколько у нас
avert
времени?
catastrophe. Besides, until the executions start. Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob and their impatience.
А та риэлторша?
They don't report their progress to
ладно.
you?
Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative. It's a matter of days, not weeks. I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. If there is anything else
Татуировки.
I can help, of course. Excuse my hesitation before.
For about half a minute, in silence.
It was taken with a trigette not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no more markings on his hands or legs.
Ждем.
Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish.
Sorry. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points. The stars. I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent. Port cities. On the oceans.
Oh!
This is an Oranese map of the waterways, a sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the DeLorean century. As early as 300 years ago, the sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels.
Зачем нужна такая карта?
The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption to be reeled back in by. The silver cord, they would call it.
Where is he now?
Да, я говорил с ним, пока что его душа привязана к телу.
That is precisely what the sailors feared when they drew these maps. A fear of drowning within one's own corpse.
Где погибший успел побывать?
Quite a few. Vredefort, the Oronese capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder. He started somewhere near here, I think.
What next?
Then he made his way to the Pretto Grande, through what I think must be the Stutz Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Pretto, he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean, first the Semnes Islands, then this. Revachol. Those are the two constants. Vredefort on the shoulder, and Revachol in the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of Insulinde, at the dawn of the Inter-Islary Age.
The old world passing by, and the new world already here.
You said you can't read it.
I can't. This man was no sailor, and these are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not their meaning.
Кто может рассказать подробней?
His platoon members? The other contractors, though I do not suggest you go and show them that picture. This man was their friend and comrade.
You wouldn't even know where to start.
Ну. Ладно, посмотрим.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
Интересно.
Mazovian Socioeconomics.
Yay!
0.000% of communism has been built.
Ого.
Evil child-murdering billionaires
Что
still
за
rule the
инфокоммунист?
world with a shit-eating grin. All he has managed to do is make himself sad. He is starting to suspect Krasmezov fucked him over, personally, with his socio-economic theory. It has, however, made him into a very smart boy with something like a university degree in truth. Instead of building communism, he now builds a precise model of this grotesque, duplicitous world.
Левый вариант ответа дает плюс 4 очка опыта. Визуальный анализ. Реакционеры повсюду. Минус авторитет и минус визуальный анализ. Милик. Авторитет в жопе! А что мне еще есть? Ладно, пока не будем трогать. Что у нас тут? Логика и так раскачана. Давайте я очко куда-нибудь вложу. Авторитет, например. То он у меня в заднице какой-то. Что мне сервирует авторитет? Аудитор, очки с откидными линзами. Да логика у нас так нормальная.
Honorable One, you have accumulated a substantial amount of honor points on your life path. You are a man most virtuous.
Ты начитал очки чести?
Of course there were honor points. Did you think no one was paying attention to all of your honorable deeds, Honorable One?
Хорош. Я просто стараюсь делать все как надо, так может каждый.
Oh, the modesty on this one. Another 10 honor points for you, sir.
Sir.
You are on the fast track to becoming one of the rarest, most revered of all police officers. An honor cop.
Честь — это моя жизнь.
Yes, your deeds have spoken for you, Honorable One. But to fully drape oneself in an eternal cloak of honor,
Игра меня троллит постоянно.
must be completed. A right of honor. Even among the honorable, only the most dignified are deemed worthy. But you, O Honorable One, have excelled in honor. Honor comes from deep within you.
Господи,
and to
боже
truly
мой.
know oneself, to know one's honor, one must reach deep within oneself and touch one's honor.
Так.
You need to bring the thumb of your right hand, your sword hand, to your rectum and stick it to form the Arch of Honors.
А, засуну с пальцем в жопу.
What are you doing?
Осеняю себя честью, лейтенант.
I can see that. But do you have to do it where everyone can see you? Have you no self-control? Please spare me this sight.
The lieutenant is a noble man, but he does not know honor like you and I do. Best not to waste time trying to explain. Lead by example. Congratulations, honorable one. You have become a member of a noble community. A man kneels, and honor cop rises. Go forth and commit even more honorable deeds. And should your resolve ever waver, remember the right of honor. It will always cleanse a man's soul. It is an honor to serve with you.
Какая наркомания. Что еще? Что он сказал? Натруженный мускул чести. Минус 4 драма. Лгать бесчестно. Время исследования 20 минут. Усвоить нельзя. Ну, в следующем уровне разблокируем. Прикол. Так, пойдем уже разговаривать с докерами. Сейчас интересно.
Just an ordinary war. Nothing to see here.
17%.
Just an ordinary war. Nothing to see here. You have no clue. So many.
Подождите. Беднозиат. Да, жесть. Нормально, нормально. Кто ненормальный? Кто буйный? Ты буйный.
Just an ordinary war. You have no clue. So many.
Ну, 17% это поднимаемо. Хотя и с трудом. Подожди, визуальная концепция, ты сказал, да? Сейчас, мне, по-моему, было что-то на визуальную херню. Сейчас, давай. Одежда. Не было.
Just an ordinary war.
Нет, концептуализация точно было же, говорю. Да иди ты.
Just an ordinary war. Nothing to see here. You have no. So.
28. Ну, 28 точно поднимаем. Было бы желание, называется. Нет, дугочестие не требует переброса. А вот стена требует.
Just an ordinary war. You have no. So many war.
Единственное, что бесит, что игра как-то странно сделана, в том смысле, что она грузится очень долго, потому что она стоит на SSD. Я себе не представляю, сколько она должна грузиться на этом самом. Ну вот видите, на обычном HDD.
Just an ordinary war. Nothing. You have no. So many war.
Ну, замечу, что по сюжету я ничего не перебрасываю. Почти. А вот. Только один раз с этим дураком перебрасывал. А вот. А так... Так, задрало.
Just an ordinary war. You have so many...
Дугочестие — это прекрасно. Это прекрасно, я считаю. Это гениально вообще. Дугочестие. Это угар.
Just an ordinary war. Nothing to... You have no... So many...
Ты задрал. Была старая РПГшка одна, которые тоже были пробросы. Я же не помню, как она называлась. Короче, там что-то тоже с расследованием, так, не такое подробное, относительно небольшая. И там было чудесно совершенно. Нет, можно, почему? И там была совершенно чудесная фигня. Я уже пробрасывал 3% в плюс себе, поэтому тут не рассказывай мне.
Just an ordinary war. You have no so many war.
Там была чудесная фигня, там был параметр удачи, и он добавлял проценты проброса, то есть увеличивал шанс проброса. Причем интересно, что там, ну, короче, там как-то так построено было определенное количество раз в день. И ты мог испытать удачу и добавить, внимание, случайный процент к шансу позитивного исхода по пробросу кубиков. То есть ты можешь потратить удачу, он там более не 3 раз в день или 4 раз в день, и при этом он добавляет случайный процент к положительному исходу, который пишется только в конце, ты даже не знаешь изначально.
Just an ordinary war. Nothing to see here, because this is no ordinary war. It is sublime. Look at it. The shadows.
Ей. Пусть эстетическое удовольствие проникнет через зрачки в мозг и породит в нем новые мысли.
All the other walls on all the other houses must make a pilgrimage in adoration of this, the uncontested pinnacle of warcraft, color peeled from the very face of God.
Что не так, по-моему, нормально все.
Oh, Warfather.
Тим, я должен расписать эту стену, сделать ее еще красивее.
Huh? He sounds tired of it all. Cindy the Skull has all the necessary materials. Talk to her.
Взгляни еще раз на эту стену, напитайся ее красотой. Ладно, например, Синди.
If you must.
Так, иди нафиг. Так, это нам наверх. Кто буйный? Я буйный, ты буйный. Ты буйный. Ты понял, нет? Буйным еще мне надо.
Hello again, officers.
Ты спишь в гугольном чулане.
Ooh. Not only have you found my address, you've discovered my biggest secret. I'm a coal miner.
Ну, не самое лучшее место, конечно, сгодится.
It doesn't have to do anything at all. Nothing.
The inspiration will come to her once hell is set loose on the streets.
Does anyone? Yes. I keep hoping shoot, Piggy.
Синди, мне нужно немного краски, твоя кисть. Для искусства, чтобы рисовать?
Well, if it's for art, but what kind of art are we talking about?
Кругом пипец, какое унылое. Искусство необходимо, чтобы жизнь стала терпимой. Просто дай мне кисть.
Sounds like you're just about to live out your self-pity, not make a statement. I can't have shit art on my conscience.
Все увидите и впадете в трепет.
Yeah, not gonna hold my breath, Piggy. You look like you'd suck. Everything, really.
Вот зараза. Не дает побаловаться. Диска Elysium нет, потому что глюканул YouTube и почему-то не пошел поток. Нет, 8% я тратить не буду, это идиотизм. 28 еще куда ни шло, но 8? Интересно, а сейчас интересно, то есть я вложил очко в авторитет, но мне там минус авторитет. Какаха. Сохранения загрузки не будет. Так, пойдем. Да я хочу с Куно поговорить на самом деле насчет этого предполагаемого изнасилования. Хотя может сначала по радио позвонить, в принципе. Ну да, уже 3 изучил.
There. Working class drunk. You know what this means, right?
Дело раскрыто.
Cracked it. All in a good day's work.
Что я щелкаю?
What do you mean? What did I crack? Look at how working class that drunk is.
Это же ее муж. Нет, это не пропавший муж. Я, блин, не вижу.
Yes, and you found him. Now go and tell them. Didn't she repeatedly tell you her husband isn't missing though? But he is missing. You heard her. There's no need for champagne when there's on.
Это? Но на Твиче записи есть. Записи ты не получишь. Я нашел вашего мужа. Ну, вы не знаете... Вон. В смысле ты не получишь? Такое ощущение, что типа там... То есть записи на Ютубе я не получу. Что происходит? Есть записи на Твиче, но они, правда, исчезнут через какое-то время. Ты хочешь навсегда их сохранить или что? Ну давай я буду закидывать на Ютуб, какие проблемы. Я нашел пьяница пролетарий и подумал, что это ваш.
Working class women come with alcoholic husbands. You know what?
Remember, about that what. Never ever say what.
Что я говорить не буду.
You were right. I do have an alcoholic husband. Although not that one.
Ah, blam. Knew it.
Ну вы же говорите, что ваш муж в порядке.
I did, and he is. He's also an alcoholic.
И пропал?
No, he's not. Or maybe he is. I don't know.
There.
Ладно.
She's worried now.
У нас дело о пропавшем без вести.
I wouldn't be so sure. Man, just to be completely clear, do you want to report it to the police?
Ну, нет. У меня, в общем, на YouTube не так часто записи. Я сейчас просто стараюсь все-таки возобновить поток на YouTube, но сегодня он глюканул.
Report what? He's just out drinking with his friends. I'm sure the police has better things to do than to chase down local goofballs.
Неправда, у РГМ хватит сил ловить каждого дуралома в городе.
She sighs.
All right, go ahead. Do you have
Как
any
ваш муж
question?
выглядит?
Honestly, not that different from you.
Он любитель диска?
Oh, thank God, no. It hasn't come down to this yet.
Так а почему вы говорите, что он похож на меня?
Well, he's slightly chubby. What else? He was wearing a dark brown leather jacket with a bright... I even tried throwing it away once. Well, what could...
She's thinking about it.
Не лень.
Yes, because...
Gone. She
Честно.
turns away from you.
So you are going... Thank you.
She tries to...
I'm sure.
I will. Of course, officer. As I said it.
Не лень, честно. Я давно не выкладывал запись на YouTube, сейчас я возобновил поток на YouTube, но он работает через задницу пока что. Я пофиксю. Все будет нормально. Хочу с этим дядьками поговорить еще.
I have really outdone myself. This is divine.
Yes, that's what you need, Gaston. More padding on that fat ass of yours. I hope your heart gives out.
Honey, it's a little pleasures. Life doesn't need to be a struggle. Hello, officer. How might I be of assistance of this fine day?
Что знаешь о мертвеце?
Let me think. I heard someone was hanged and left on a tree for a week. But that's all I know, really.
Да ладно, ты что-то слышал?
No, officers, I'm sorry. And I really would like to assist. You are both good guys. I can see that.
Ты хочешь записи, царь?
Then help them, you wimp. You have plenty of shoulder with your ghost caviar in the Union. Someone must know something.
He means caviar socialists.
I wish I could, but I just don't know anything. I always keep my
Ну,
nose
вообще забавный
clean
способ взять
and
квест,
don't
конечно.
gossip.
Убедить женщину, что ее муж пропал.
Everyone knows and respects that.
Odd. He doesn't seem to be lying, but there's something off here.
Окей, ты что-то все-таки не договариваешь.
I'm not even anyone.
Of course he's holding back. His mouth is so full of Union prick he can't even speak properly.
Can I at least finish my fucking sentence before you piss on it? Is that okay, René? I'm not anyone impotent in the Union. I just know Evrard.
А откуда ты знаешь Эврара?
Everyone in Martinez knows the Clare brothers. I taught these boys human studies and history in the gymnasium.
What do you know about history? You never witnessed history. Only heard about it years later, when it had already moved on.
Суровый
You
карабинер.
don't know history.
The old soldier mumbles something under his breath and turns to face the sea. There he stands, proud, rigid and alone, like a cracking marble statue.
Let's try not to get caught in a crossfire.
Lest we leave riddled with bullet holes. This animosity is ancient.
Ты состоишь в профсоюзе?
Oh, in many ways, yes. Like an honorary member. I attend meetings and parties, help with little things. Evrard, Edgar, and the older debarders all know me.
В каком-то смысле?
Oh, yes.
То есть членства у тебя нет?
Not in the technical sense. I don't have a vote or a membership card, but Evrard keeps me on the payroll.
Нормально.
Just for the little things.
So that's what it was before. Him hiding something. He tries to make it look like he's a big deal in the Union, and now the illusion is disintegrating before your and Rene's eyes. He doesn't know anything, because no one tells him anything. He's an outsider.
Of course he's not a member. He's not a member of anything. I knew that. He's a Weservein. Turns the way the wind blows and tries to look important. I hate this socialist rabble, but even siding with them is better than living your entire life on the fence. Never committing to anything. Pick a damn side already.
Какие же мелочи ты делаешь для Эврара?
Writing work mostly. Occasionally, he needs something written, and I happen to have a way with words, people say.
Окей, что ты для него пишешь?
Oh, nothing official, I assure you. Just essays for the newspapers. About Martinez and how things are and how they could be. Evrard and I had these long talks where...
Well, he tells his little pen man exactly what to say. It's commie propaganda, plain and simple. You should be ashamed of yourself.
That's why Gaston isn't a Union member. Everard needs a neutral party to speak his ideas.
А ты сам икорный социалист?
I don't even consider myself a regular socialist. Politics is not really something I involve myself in, officer.
Постой, как ты пишешь статьи?
Officer, I have a vivid imagination. And like I said, I have a way with words. That's enough. No need to think into politics.
He just fluffs it up.
Of course. Don't sink into anything. Don't sink into any fight. Only sink into your couch.
Ты же должен верить хотя бы во что-то.
I believe everyone has the right to think and do whatever they want. Even if it's nothing at all. I'm very adaptable.
О, да.
Mon Dieu.
Спасибо.
No, thank you.
Выглядит очень вкусно.
I'm sorry, officer, but I really...
The only one you have.
Хорош сжаться, Гастон.
Believe me, officer. I wish I could help you, but I need this sandwich to keep my blood sugar stable.
Ты не слышишь меня, друг? Мне нужен этот сэндвич.
Fuck off! It's mine. Sorry, officer. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it in a bad way. But the sandwich
I
is
didn't
mine.
mean it in a
I'm
bad
not
way.
gonna share it.
Хорош, хорош.
When the dissidents come to rape our country, he hides. But try to get a bite of his dear sandwich and he gets claws? You're a special kind of vermin, Gaston.
Второе.
All right, this is how we're gonna do it.
Я восхищаюсь твоей работой, шеф, но кое-что я бы сделал иначе.
Like what, officer? This is as good as they come in Revachol, I assure you.
An array of delicious recipes flashes through your mind. Salads, salmon, sandwiches, bingo.
Если положить поперек ветчины большой ломоть алдувского сыра, то сэндвич будет меньше крошиться, и мы уменьшим потерю компонентов.
Mon Dieu, that is an excellent idea. That would virtually negate the component loss.
А вот тебе мысль еще лучше. В воздушный карман между сыром и ветчиной можно подсыпать копченые паприки.
Ce serait délicieux. Can you make that sandwich, officer?
Конечно, но мне понадобится твой в качестве прототипа.
I hope you are not just tricking an old man out of the little he has left.
Ладно,
Oh,
ладно.
god of sandwiches, maybe? But in the meanwhile, sure,
Так.
officer. They are the good everyone.
What?
The old there.
Сейчас, секунду, я почту.
Riddled with bullet holes. This animosity is ancient.
Ладно, спасибо.
No.
Так, а ты? Мы получили сэндвич.
We're still waiting for a replacement for the bull you sent sinking.
Отчет. Я видел перекресток... видел статую Филиппа III на перекрестке.
Ah, yes. King Philip III on his steed. A reminder of what Revachol once was.
Oh, absolutely. At the mercy of a cocaine-snorting tyrant who emptied the treasury so he could sleep on a bed of gold.
A superpower, feared and respected. A testament to what this country can be under the leadership of a true king. Someone who knows how to rule.
И как должен править истинный король?
Decisively.
Oh.
Without fear of offending the sensibilities of the frail and weak-minded among his subjects. This is something the insurgents never understood.
Вроде он о людях, но нет. Но сильные правители, которые не боятся делать, что должно. Вот что нужно этой стране.
Revachol would be a different place if more people realized that. We could still be the...
Don't get started on that again. What happened, happened.
The Carabiner doesn't reply, but his entire being communicates. And no one and nothing can change this man's mind. He is as rigid as they come, still in that antique uniform.
Что там было насчет кокаина?
Oh, old Philip was a big fan of the purple nose candy the nobility loved so much. A cocaine connoisseur of sorts. His egocentricity is borderline legendary.
You can't even take responsibility for yourself. How could you fathom the responsibility weighing on the shoulders of a ruler? That's why the Philippian kings use cocaine, for clarity of vision, to aid in their work. Regnum cocainum.
Regnum cocainum. Regnum cocainum. Хорош.
Clarity of vision. Awareness.
Philip III was even brought into this world with the help of cocaine. The court medic administered a dose to his mother when she was in labor, and it is well known that with the help of cocaine, only the purest, of course, he was able to connect with higher realms.
Сдохнуть.
Higher realms. Of course, it all makes sense. He's just making excuses for the king's habits, isn't he?
Команды не должны брать тяжелой техники, не то что целой страной.
From what I've seen of the officers of the RCM... But I don't want to get into a debate about Doug Wright.
Ладно, хрен с тобой. Я смог раздобыть сэндвич Гастона.
Yes, I was standing right here. I saw it. Why are you telling me this?
Да, послушайте, друзья, в эти отчаянные времена все люди братья. Давайте вчетвером разделим эту трапезу.
No! I don't understand what you're trying to accomplish with it. All of this is very unprofessional. makes me think this citizens' militia is nothing but a badly organized band of bullies and
Говорчивый старик. То он мне нравится.
like this.
We're not. The officer was just...
You are representing an organization, an insignia, an idea. You need to understand that.
It's clear these words mean a lot to him.
Everything you do reflects on the idea and the people you are representing. When we think of the RCM, we think of you. Please make it a pleasant thought.
Ну ладно, подумаю.
Yes, well, let's just wrap this.
Fine. You live, learn.
Oh.
The matter is closed. Now.
Сыр какой-то. А что за сэндвич-то? О, с ним можно взаимодействовать, прикольно. Если взаимодействовать можно, надо сохраниться. А то знаю я себя.
The ham sandwich looks fresh and nutritious in your hand, begging to be eaten. A treat of this magnitude should not be enjoyed alone.
Давай пополам, Ким.
I'll pass. Thanks.
When you hold something up long enough, some people are compelled to take it. Try it on the lieutenant.
А ну.
Thank you, but no, I'm not hungry.
Продолжать?
No.
Не опускать?
The lieutenant's eyes express an absolute lack of interest.
Покрутить сэндвичем перед лицом лейтенанта и изобразить звук самолета.
The lieutenant stands next to you, but he might as well exist in a parallel realm. This man does not crack under pressure. Stars would die before he'd succumb to any kind of manipulation. With this realization comes a sudden flash of pride.
Знаешь, Ким, если бы я протягивал этот сэндвич достаточно долго...
Some people would feel compelled to take it. Yes, I know.
Но не ты, да?
No.
Ну ладно, съем.
You jam your teeth into the sandwich and immediately feel a
А,
series
восстановление
of
здоровья.
taste explosions go off in your mouth. This is what angels must taste like. The taste of salt. You really
Извините, просто это
really
газ.
feel it.
2 хп, не... Восстановление 2 хп я терять сейчас не буду, нафиг. Сэндвич пусть полежит тогда до лучших времен. Ну, правда, у меня всего 2 хп, я вообще не понимаю, как можно получить третий, но как получим третий. Восстановление хп это прям true, пусть будет. Теперь, по крайней мере, знаю, как это сделать. Окей. В принципе, здесь мы все решили. Единственное, что я вот думаю позвонить этой стюардессочке. Стюардессочке по имени Жанна. Так, раз, Сильвия.
Sylvia? Yes. Oh, great. What else do you need, detective? You mean why?
Why not?
Let's just say I left because I needed to get away from someone. You know who.
You think you hear a sliver? Don't be paranoid. She's up.
I really don't want to talk about this. Let's just forget about this, okay?
Странно, мы это и разговаривали.
Maybe, I don't know.
Нельзя с ней поговорить по поводу...
Anything else I can help you with, officer? Not yet. But I was at 50...
In the cabin, you see a set of steering.
Странно, а почему? Чтобы прокачать КП, надо качать выносливость. КП надо качать выносливость. Я понял, ну ладно. Постараемся не умирать. Так, ладно, пойдем. Дай бутылку. Я думаю... О чем я думаю? Я не знаю, что это. I don't know. Пипец, грузится, ну, конечно.
The termish, your bottles clunk into the...
Не, ну просто хорошо бы найти 20 реалов. Билд интеллектуала, ловушка для копа с посаженным сердцем и печенью. Так. Я туда подняться смогу.
Your hazy on the notion of a scab. Smells like politics, though. Maybe it's got something to do with the flask he reaches for from time to time. What did he just call you? Oh no, not this again. You just got away from that fucking kid.
Я полицейский, твою мать.
I was just messing with you. No one's ever seen a cop scab. Imagine, you cops going on a strike, but then another cop comes in and says, let us cop for less money.
Прикольно.
Speaking of, what brings the RCM here, to the Wild North? Come to see the strife?
Небольшая беда с деньгами, не выручит.
Sure thing, my friend. I can help you out.
О, черт.
The coin narrowly.
Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to throw it like that. It's a thing we harbor folk do.
Черт.
Around cargo and such. Was not meant.
The boyadero stares at you with respect, then gestures towards the trickles of blood adorning
Ну ладно. Спасибо, монетка.
Right, always glad to help out the RCM. We're on the same branch, you and I. Humans, I mean, not slithering scabs.
Так, я привел Мартинеса, расследую убийство. Бутылки, может, даже они не подсвечиваются?
Murder, huh? That sounds like a lot of hard work. You'd never see me investigating a murder.
Ну... Может, ты поможешь мне и расскажешь, кто это сделал?
Of course, policia. It wasn't me. You can rule me out. Easier that way.
Да.
Should we? He's nice. I don't like nice. He didn't do it. It's the truth.
Для чего вообще устроили эту забастовку?
You know, serious business. I'm sure the big boss will be glad to tell you. You'll have to ask him first.
He's a chatty guy. Wants to talk about the strike. Return once you've met the union boss and are on a better footing with the organization.
Окей. Так, Food in Organization. Слушай, пойдем вниз поговорим там. Какие-то фигни происходят интересные. Это... кузов. Ты кто?
Bastards! We have a right to work!
Что происходит?
Hold up and stay frosty, everyone. Cops are here.
О бога.
You here to fuck with us? Beat the honest worker down.
С какой стати?
We're here to fight for a cause. Stripes usually have problems with people who have causes.
Ну ладно, тогда, наверное, нет.
Good. We're fighting for a cause here. Right to work! Right to work!
Страйкбрекеры.
Besides, we're not that different. It helps if people see us talking, cops and strikebreakers together. Shows authorities are on our side. Builds confidence.
Вопросы?
Maybe you should ask them the questions, like why we're not allowed to make a living here. Shame on you! We have families to feed, you piece of shit.
So do we, Scott.
Кто такие эти Я хочу так, даже стрейбрекеры.
Honest men and women with rights to work, to be useful, not toys for corporate interests.
Смешно.
We came here to help the harbor run smoothly in time of crisis. If union fucks don't want work, they ought to let in those who do want work.
I have a question. Why do all these men follow your leadership?
You think they follow because I'm big and loud? No.
Да.
They follow the rules of the market,
С
the
утра.
rules of the economy, because they were given a job to do.
Чё именно вы здесь добиваетесь?
We were promised work. We'd be in there, working, if the bastards hadn't shut the gates.
Вы не можете пробить себе путь.
Main gate's locked. Would take heavy ordnance to bust it open. Could try to get in through the secretary's office.
Door's locked. The guard's blocking the way to the access panel. And I don't mean the scrawny nest bunk either. I mean head measurer. Or whatever he is.
Черепомера?
Huge Seminese guy standing up there on the overhead passage. Won't let anyone by. The access panel is right behind him.
Неужели вы не можете справиться с этим человеком?
Bad. Standing on a narrow bridge, he's got a strategically advantageous position. And he's trained. I don't know how the Union has a trained killer up there. But that one's no joke. And my men are tired and hungry.
Okay.
They're workers, not fighters.
Почему просто не поговорите с ним?
Like civilized folk, you mean? These native fucks don't understand civilized.
Odd, out-of-place colonial reference there, Mr. Scab Leader.
It would be better for the neighborhood if you went home, at least for now, if you can't get in anyway.
No! They will give up eventually. Or get drunk. Leave the button unguarded. Then we charge.
You've been talking to him for quite a while now. Something is off with this guy. Ask him where he's from.
Окей, откуда ты?
What's it to you?
На секунду мне показалось, что я тебя откуда-то знаю.
No. Don't think we've met before. I came to help out the people.
Происхождение?
We're all workers, right? Workers stick together. Came from the eminent domain, in Jamrock. Backgrounds in odd jobs, heavy lifting, cargo hauling, bouncer work.
Здорово, я знаю много баров. Из некоторых меня выкидывали, может, поэтому ты показался мне знакомым.
Worked at Territorial. Ring a bell?
Да, думаю, что я там бывал.
It was a long time ago.
Так, что такое забастовка?
When a bunch of ungrateful, lazy cockroaches
Cockroaches?
get their act together, decide to block honest work for other people.
Окей, что хотят бастующие?
It's me. They mumble nonsense about boardrooms and workers' rights, while we have the right to work.
Я тоже хочу попасть в порт.
Have fun. Union shits are on full strike. Don't think they're going to let you through the gates. I'm trying to meet their fat boss.
Да, вообще-то я про убийство.
I know nothing about a murder.
The mention of a killing sends a barely noticeable shiver of tenseness through him.
Я что-то такой напряженный.
What are you talking about? I'm not tense.
Yes, he's tense. And dangerous. Somewhere below it all.
Right to work! It's shameful. Cops doing nothing. You should bring backup. Open up the gates for us. Blockading gainful employment for workers is a crime.
Я в этом не разбираюсь.
We are not picking a side in this just yet, sir.
Pity. Let us work!
Тихо. Грязные штрейбрекеры. Это сохранение. Видимо, это был какой-то важный выбор. Ну и хрен. Куда жмите кнопку? Оп, оп, оп. Ну, вскрыть не выбить, окей. Так. Окей. Что тут происходит? Головомер.
Nobody betrays your degeneracy.
Ха! Прелесть. Начало разговора мне нравится.
Yeah, Measurehead. His body totally betrays his degeneracy.
Don't say anything. Size him up first.
Чего не говорится, сперва смерить его взглядом.
Are you admiring my morphophysiology?
Господи.
It must be frightening to stand in the shadow of this racial pinnacle. Be calm, Sandwich. You are not in danger because you are not a threat to me.
Ладно, это все фигня, я сотрудник полиции.
That is precisely the negligence that has led you to succumb to Al Ghul. You reek of it, An invisible sword of Al-Ghul emerges from your throat. You cannot see it, but others can. It is making the woman in my company sick.
Да ладно. Давай, либо пусти труп с дерева, либо пусти меня в порт.
No, you don't. You need to get another drink.
Расистов тут просто все расисты.
Group B4 is done giving orders around here. The influence of the
Гаплогруппа! Хорош. Авторы молодцы. Прям наркомания такая, класс. Сэндвичи раз испытание.
Show him the ham still got it. Does this remind you of someone? The guy down there?
Видишь того жирного расиста? Ты это он, только подкачался немного.
Look at my chronology. I am the pinnacle of my haplogroup. The pink blob is a bad example, even of yours. It saddens me. You were once a noble and powerful race. You gave the world eugenics, electricity, and powerful weapons of war like missiles and aerostatic aircraft. You made great gains in metallurgy, race theory, and statecraft.
Знаете, они каким-то образом удивительно умудрились описать и показать персонажей, у которых каша в башке. Каша в башке практически у всех, поэтому очень интересно.
You dominated lesser cultures, like the deformed Himians and the inexplicably potato-obsessed Khoikos. But now you're
Белорусы вышли из чата. Извините.
You are obsessed with sadness and with frivolous pop culture. You will be superseded. Isn't that right, babe?
It is, baby, yeah. You know it.
There is a button right behind him, just out of reach. It must be the one that opens the door to the harbor. This man is not budging. Let's hope his superiors inside are more cooperative.
Так, ты совершенно прав во всем. Теперь мне нужна твоя помощь, чтобы снять труп с дерева.
Enough with this begging. You should leave the stage of history with dignity by inviting the other races to a great world war. Bring your troops to the Simenon Islands and to Boogie Street, and we will pulverize you. When you are gone, we will build a museum for you.
Хорош.
The walls will be lined with bottles of Al-Ghul, your beloved beverage. Inside, we will store the odes to homosexuality you call art, and your microcephalic skulls.
Хорош.
This is your chance. He's talking. Rip into him with a punch and catch him off guard. No, there's a peaceful solution. He could internalize Meshhead's race theory. He would take you as one of his own.
Верно, хорошая мысль.
The best idea. Ask what kind of races there are first. Classification is core to this stuff.
Расскажи про расу, чувак.
Do you?
Это для дела.
The lieutenant looks toward the harbor's electronic door, and then to you. He lets out and
You are obviously a liberal, Sayerlight. A polyculturalist. I can see it from your love of microtechnology and your sartorial choices. Do not deny your friend the truth you have denied yourself. There are three categories of race. Type A, the heroic races. Type B, the servile races.
Служащий
And
рас.
the vile CF race cauldron of pederasty. Which one do you need education on?
Типа, пожалуйста.
Those are the Simonese, the Areopagite, and the Occidentals, excluding the Maun, of course. The Maun are riddled with eczema to the point where they find it impossible to smile. They are all lactose intolerant, a common result of inbreeding. A receding genetic pool has led them out on reprehensible street parades in mound cities like Stadskanal and Vredefort, wearing wooden clogs on their feet and little green tassels on their hats.
Так, кто такие эти мауны?
You know them by the names of their nation states. The Oranese, the Gotwaldians, and the Königsteiners. My people simply call them Maun.
Maun is a derogative term for first world people of Gotwaldian descent. They do not all have X-Men. Also, people of Katla, like the Suru and the Uhu, are much more lactose intolerant.
Деревянные башмаки.
In some municipalities of Oranje, people do wear shoes made of wood to street parades. Green, orange, and even yellow tassels have also been seen on hats.
The Maun are proof that you can have too much Occidental racial purity and tassels.
Культура, основанная на кисточках.
Inbreeding has led to a lactose-intolerant subrace whom no one can take seriously.
Хорош. Так, ну и кто к типу относится?
Vespertines and Messenians of Vesper and Messina, the ancient Meteorans of Meteo by the golden Pisantic Sea, the Suren of Sur-la-Clé, and even the North Königsteiners, all have type A race propensities. The other large Mondial civilization, the Mesk, are too yellow and oleaginous to count as a heroic race. True, they are violent and expansionist, but they have a glandular problem. Overproduction of sebum. Sebum is leaking into their brains, making them listen to mariachi music, eat toxic minced meat-based food, which in turn only produces more sebum.
Где в этой системе находится Ариопа? Смешно. Если бы не было так грустно, да.
Occidental type A is in retrograde. The Seminese and the Areopagite are on the ascent.
И семенинцы это...
The indigenous people of this, the Insulindian archipelago. The Seminese inhabit the southern islands. I am Seminese, from the stock of Ulmuir on Ile de Fantôme.
И ариопагиты это...
The Areopagites are the master race of the Ile Maran deserts. The Simonese are descendants of the Areopagites. We came here during a heroic migration from Ile Maran to Ansuland, thousands of years before the lactose-intolerant Maun Occidentals discovered this place.
В чем разница между семенинцами и ариопагитами?
The Areopagites are sleek, long-headed. The Simonese are powerful, mesomorphic. The former is an immutable progenitor, unchanged since the Super Isola of Pericarnassus. Ancient brains rest in their slender skulls. The latter is perfected and adapting. Together they form the Simeno-Areopagite, or Simeopagite super race. That is all. There are no more type A races in the world.
Nature was not capable of more.
Type B?
Type B are the unheroic races, amorphous non-competitors of the great race. The Koikos and the Vacholier, they are mud-colored people.
Землистого?
To an untrained eye, the Koiko appear white and pinkish, like a ham's on witch. But look into their eyes and you will see. They are of a distinct muddy color, and so is their skin. unhealthy, sweaty, and ashen. Pinkness is a racial quality that has to be earned through centuries of advanced ballistic warfare and cultural domination
Если не
that
сдохну.
the grad people have undergone for drinking alcohol and smoking the degenerate tobacco herb and for eating potato.
Ой.
The Khoikhoi, the countless micronationalities of Grad, are all inexplicably obsessed with Podat. The only thing they like more is dividing into microscopic ethnostates, like political amoeba.
Wouldn't he be one for ethnostates?
Тебе не нравятся национальные государства?
They are microscopic. The Semino-Areopagite superstate will cover the entire remaining planetary crust, uninterrupted.
Охренеть.
From Holy Semenine to the Boreal Plateau of Katla. Its leaders will be the genetic epitome of the Semenese and Areopagite stock, elected by nature, not the base inner spoilage called demos.
Окей, а Вашальеры это кто?
The Vasholians, halfway between Tip A and the Racial Cauldron. Two makes to know right from wrong. You tried your degenerate little evolution, which was the single greatest failure committed by humans in our 82,000-year history on this planet.
Is it 82,000 years that we've been recording history? You have very little idea of what is happening.
Так.
Seems a little off.
Да. Так, в целом все было сделано правильно.
The revolution came to Ravachol from Grad, in Zara's written potato carts. It is literally an illness, a prion disease that leaves the parietal and frontal lobe ridden with holes. A soft, sponge-like mass of dementia, hallucination, and paranoia. The revolution is fatal familial insomnia. A hereditary prion condition passed from the Khoikhoi to the Occidentals. But not sexually. Probably through trade routes and potate acid, the prime component of the potato plant.
Боже мой.
Enough
Почему так не нравится
of
картошка?
their mediocrity.
ТБЕ, отразительно расы ВЕ. Хотел, да, пожалуйста, вот это вот.
Tips CF are a museum of failed chimeric experiments
Этим ученую
and
степень.
tragic
Да.
maladaptations. They are tortured creatures waiting to be put to sleep. Your morbid interest in them worries me.
Что за химерические эксперименты?
Lesser races like the mosquito, a grotesque mixture of a masked woman and a Semenese man.
Да.
Only possible if the mother is masked and the father Semenese. The other way around, they fail to produce offspring. The mosquito is born sterile, like a donkey.
Чё?
All they have left is to ride customized motor carriages with hydraulic suspension. Listening to aggressive El
Туго.
Mariachi
Не остаточните. А вот мозги ему запутать, это да.
It seems unlikely that two human beings produce genetically sterile offspring.
Все люди не настолько не похожи настолько, чтобы их дети не были генетически стерильными.
You are right. You have misunderstood. You lack basic phylogenetic education.
Ну так ты таких упырей не встречал никогда? Да
The
дофига.
Saints will not budge on this.
Then there is the Semino-Khoikhoi Chimera. Are you sure you wish to know of the Semino-Khoikhoi Chimera? It is not an aesthetic site.
Да, давай.
The Khoikhoi, as you know, are very servile, especially when they meet the rich man. Racial scientists have toyed with the idea of crossing the Semenese with the Khoikhoi to produce a super worker of Semenese strength and Grad servility. this will never happen. The Simonese and the Khoikhoi may have similar interbreeding problems as the mosquito. We will never know precisely.
Ой.
No Simonese man could maintain an erection in the suffocating potato stench of a Khoikhoi.
Чё он пристал к картошке?
But enough. It is cruel to entertain ourselves with the deformities of Type F. Were there any able-bodied races you needed education on?
Ну да, ну и чё?
You understand nothing. To solve the great race enigma, you have to first ask yourself, what is the race enigma? You have not even worded the mystery, let alone solved it.
И как мне облечь тайну в слова?
You need to internalize what you have heard here today, then return to me. This clarity does not come instantly.
О боже.
I cannot possibly imagine what else we have to discuss, Tibere Basholian. Your love for disco music and venereal disease?
Знаешь что-то об этой кружке?
Does not so much as glance at the object.
Ты что-нибудь о ней знаешь?
Stop showing me your pathetic.
He had nothing to do with it.
Ты служишь профсоюзу, верно? Разве они не белые?
Oh, don't be vulgar. White or not has got little to do with this.
There must be some friction there. He's keeping it well hidden, however.
Как это же служащим?
Mr. Clare is a man of vision and means. He has the will to confront polycultural capital. Something your race, naivistic communists, never did. Also, to serve is noble. It takes discipline. Your petulant individualism has only contributed to your race failure. It is lax and moronic.
Коммунизм это круто!
Idiotic communism is the single greatest contributor to your race descent. Everywhere around you, the fruits of its failure to challenge the world order. Individualism, rock and roll music, sexually transmitted diseases, above all, rampant multinational.
Коммунизм прекратил транснациональные корпорации, да, хорошо. Хорош.
Tell me, where have you gotten your love of pathetic communism from? Degenerate youth culture? Rock and roll music?
Молодежная культура не влияет на мое мышление.
Of course it does. You are a degenerate individualist and a rock and roll rat. A pawn of international finance, just like the rest of your ham-colored race. I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. This has happened to many of the side products of the inevitable cultural victory of the Simonese race.
Мне порт
What
надо.
you need is to come to terms with extinction and never getting that dead body down from the tree.
Почему ты не с парнями харных? Так, подождите, уйти. У меня мозг немного в это самое, в кучу свалился. Что там я... Господи, какой бред. Я жалею, получал, а я не получал. Так, ладно, с ним мы тогда разберемся, наверное, в следующий раз. Да. Так, вчера 4 часа, сегодня 4 часа, нормально. Что мы будем делать дальше? Тут я сохраняюсь. Надо уже двигаться. GG. Значит, завтра у меня днюха, я буду заниматься всякой ерудистикой. Ну, может быть, вы что-то позаказываете, я не знаю, посмотрим. Так, с учетом того, что это нужно вечером, Disco Elysium будет в среду в 6 часов. Побегаем подольше. Завтра, ну да, в 6 часов. Тогда там с 6 до 10-11 спокойно побегаем. О, потому что расовая теория мне сейчас мозг съела. Ну, это угар, конечно. Мне теперь надо бегать и доказывать, что я не верблюд. Либо вкачать в этот самый, в грубую силу. Я подумаю об этом потом. Ужас какой! Какой кошмар! Какой кошмар! Черные расисты повсюду. Ужас. Нет, мне нравится, как тут разное. У людей каша в головах, у персонажей огромное количество. При этом каша в головах у всех разная. Это миленько, я считаю. Я сказал, это очень миленько. Запись выложу на YouTube. Дальше сейчас покидаю записи Disco Elysium на YouTube. Вот. Все. Увидимся завтра. Всем огромное спасибо за просмотр. Не забудьте подписаться и поддержать канал. Всем пока и хорошего воскресенья. Что?